Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support, we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
Ao Wu leaped from the roof of the barracks, then did a forward roll to dissipate the force of the landing. Before the undead monsters could surround him, he rushed into Kishimoto Masao's command post. Fortunately, Masao Kishimoto's command post was not locked. Otherwise, if he had been delayed by even a second or two, those undead monsters would have captured him. Ao Wu locked the command post door from the inside, then collapsed to the ground, panting heavily. After dealing with these undead monsters, Ao Wu was severely exhausted. Fortunately, the command post made the undead monsters somewhat wary, preventing them from rushing in. Hashimoto, you've come to take my life again, haven't you? Why won't you let me go? Why won't you let me go? A deep hoarse voice sounded behind Ao Wu. Ao Wu was horrified. Are there still people alive? Or are they not even human anymore? Ao Wu slowly turned his head. Sitting in front of the desk was a middle-aged man of medium build, in his 40s with a hooked nose and a full beard. Is he Masao Kishimoto? Looking at the dejected man before him, Ao Wu's face showed a hint of doubt. This guy speaks Japanese, but because of the supernatural rules, Ao Wu can understand every word he says. Hashimoto, I know you hate me. I've dragged everyone into this endless hell. Tormented forever, I will atone for my sins. Please don't come looking for me again. This middle-aged man was muttering to himself like a madman. Are you Masao Kishimoto? Ao Wu asked tentatively. The man did not answer Ao Wu's question. Instead, he drew a Type 14 Nambu pistol, quickly cocked it, and pointed it at his temple. With a loud bang, the guy pulled the trigger. Instantly, blood and brain matter sprayed everywhere. Ao Wu never expected his friend to be so ruthless. By the time he tried to rescue him, it was too late. Oh no, this guy's gone mad. He just opens his own skull like that, meow. Ao Wu, somewhat frustrated at not getting any information, walked up to Kishimoto Masaya, who had been shot in the head, and said, check his desk for any other clues. Ao Wu, who was in a state of post-coital meditation, spoke to the black cat, Ali, who was controlling his body. Fine, that's enough, here's your control back. Go do what you want. After speaking, the black cat Ali reappeared on Ao Wu's shoulder. Ao Wu had regained control of himself. Ao Wu rummaged through Kishimoto Masao's desk and finally found a black notebook. How did Masao Kishimoto's diary end up here? That's so illogical. Ao Wu was completely baffled. Forget it, I don't want to think about it anymore. Let's take a look at the rules of this third level first. Ao Wu opened Kishimoto Masao's diary, which recorded the rules of this level. Rule 2, no one can escape from here alive. Give up the struggle. Rule 3, this is the hell of the dead. If you see someone who has died suddenly, come back to life. Don't worry, it's normal. Rule 4, the entire immortality experiment is filled with eerie negative energy. It will gradually erode the human mind. Rule 5, inhibitors are present in the laboratory. Rule 6, whenever the alarm sounds, bloodthirsty monsters will appear. Rule 7, the barracks are safe. Rule 8, perform rituals to help the dead find peace. You'll reap unexpected rewards, require certain items. Rule 9, the black vortex is ganino. It has taken root and sprouted in the hearts of each and every one of us. Rule 10, the bronze alchemy furnace is for sacrifices. You can use it. Ao Wu looked at the rules in the diary, his heart unable to calm down for a long time. Ao Wu, I feel something's wrong. That guy whose head got blown off. It seems like he moved just now. The black cat Ari pointed in terror at the corpse of Kishimoto Masao sitting in the chair. Don't make a fuss. This guy should be the only survivor in this underground experimental base. He's conscious and even keeps a diary. He doesn't seem to have been affected by some unknown contamination. Before Ao Wu could finish speaking, Kishimoto Masao, whose head had been blown off, suddenly stood up. Blood was still gushing from his headless neck, but the wound was regenerating at an extremely rapid pace. Ali, I take back what I just said. This guy is definitely acting strangely. What are you waiting for? Runs meow. The silk thread sharpness 0%. Black Cat Ali regained control of his body. With a flick of his wrist, the eerie threads wrapped around the beams of the command post. As the threads began to retract, he quickly rose to the roof and burst through the roof tiles. Meanwhile, Masao Kishimoto's head had regenerated completely. He wore a wicked grin, his eyes bloodshot as if they were about to drip blood. Intruders! You must be here to steal the elixir of immortality. We won't let you succeed. The elixir of immortality belongs to the Emperor. It belongs to the Emperor, it's mine. I will live forever, kill. Masao Kishimoto gradually went mad. He took his katana from the wall, then a pair of demonic bat wings sprouted from his back, and he leaped up from the ground and rushed off the roof. After Kishimoto Masao gave chase, he discovered that Ao Wu had already vanished without a trace. Unable to vent his killing intent, Kishimoto Masao grew increasingly violent. He even took his anger out on the other undead monsters wandering the camp, unleashing a blood-red slash. Many of the undead monster soldiers were instantly torn to pieces by him, and those with minor injuries suffered severed limbs. After wielding this blade, Kishimoto Masao's last shred of sanity vanished. He flew out of the camp and headed towards the prisoner of war camp. In a corner he couldn't see, bright red blood flowed from beneath an undead monster with a severed leg. But just seconds later, its leg grew back perfectly intact. At the same time, the alarm sounded again. The undead monsters, who had been loitering around the barracks, quickly gathered and swarmed towards the prisoner of war camp. Ao Wu hid at the very back and quietly entered the soldiers' barracks. Rule 7: the barracks are safe. This is a scam, a trap. Ao Wu, why are you still in the barracks? Meow, the black cat. Ali perched on Ao Wu's shoulder looked puzzled. Ao Wu, who had hidden himself in the soldiers' barracks, quietly locked the door and then let out a long sigh of relief. Rule 7 is indeed incorrect. But the barracks are relatively safer. Only for the soldiers. This is because they are always patrolling or on guard duty in the barracks area. The command post is also safe. However, there's a time limit. Kishimoto Masao has completely broken down. Before he commits suicide, it should remain safe. After his suicide, you should escape immediately, because at that point he will lose his mind and go on a killing spree. That Masao Kishimoto is truly despicable. He wiped out 10 years of my life with just one stroke. Ao Wu, who transformed into an immortal monster soldier using disguise glasses, had his left leg severed by Kishimoto Masao to recover. He used the title of Grand Magister, which cost him another 10 years of his lifespan. This enraged him and he cursed loudly. It's rare to see you get such a run-in, but this pitiful look on your face really makes me happy. Meow. A satisfied look appeared on the face of the black cat, Ali. Ali, your F*** G mean. As Ao Wu and the black cat Ali were taunting each other, they suddenly heard a slight noise outside. Ao Wu opened the window of the barracks a crack and peeked out. A petite figure was sneaking towards the barracks next to him. It seems to be Sherry, that cunning little girl. Ao Wu said softly. The rules of this game don't prohibit violence. Should we take this opportunity to eliminate her and prevent future trouble? A fierce glint appeared in the eyes of the black cat Ali, as it made a throat-slitting gesture at Ao Wu. Killing her isn't urgent. There will be plenty of opportunities. This place is fraught with danger, teeming with those terrifying undead monsters. If we rashly engage in battle and fail to kill her in one strike, the commotion will inevitably attract the undead monsters' swarm, resulting in mutual destruction, which would be worse. Let her live a little longer. Ao Wu was very rational and did not act rashly. The piercing alarm continued for a while before gradually fading away. Kishimoto Masao, with his blue face Fengsan bat wings, flew back and re-entered the command center. He was covered in blood, holding a katana in his right hand. His left arm was missing, but it was regenerating at an incredibly fast pace. In just 6 or 7 seconds, the arm had grown back completely. Seeing the undead monster soldiers covered in blood, returning in 2s and 3s, Ao Wu gave up the idea of going out to find a way to survive. Those immortal monsters seem to be able to see through my disguise. I don't know where the flaw is. It's too dangerous to go out now. I should check Kishimoto Masao's diary for any other clues. Thinking of this, Ao Wu took out Kishimoto Masao's diary again and began to read it. There were some missing pages in the middle of the diary, and it was unclear who had torn them out. Ao Wu suspected that the crazed Kishimoto Masao might have done it himself. But he couldn't remember doing so. April 1945. My name is Masao Kishimoto. My memory has been getting worse lately. I can't even remember what day of April it is now. All we know is that more than a month has passed since the immortal lab fell. Food and water were dwindling, but strangely, my soldiers and I were becoming increasingly uninterested in these necessities, instead showing a strong craving for fresh flesh and blood. Although the consumption of food and water was very low, I didn't think this was a good sign. Not only that, I seem to have developed narcolepsy and sleepwalking. I often fall into unconscious sleep, and when I wake up, I find myself in other parts of this immortality laboratory. Every time I regain consciousness, I am covered in blood. Like a demon from hell. I told Dr. Kato about it, and he gave me a strange look. He handed me a syringe, saying that this would keep me conscious. He's right. After I received that injection, my mind and consciousness became much clearer. Something very strange happened today, in 1943. The soldiers and prisoners of war I sent to explore the black vortex suddenly appeared. They emerged from the tomb chamber containing the enormous bronze alchemy furnace. No, it can no longer be called them, but them. They had transformed into monsters, completely fused together. Their heads, arms, and limbs grew haphazardly from various parts of the fleshy mass, making them look extremely terrifying and sinister. They had lost consciousness and transformed into bloodthirsty monsters. A great battle ensued. I don't remember the outcome, but anyway, neither we nor they died. Upon seeing this, Ao Wu frowned. This black vortex can distort time and space, causing mental confusion and physical deformities. What exactly is that black vortex? It's terrifying. And I feel like Kishimoto and the others are acting strangely too, as if they're being slowly eroded by some eerie energy, gradually losing themselves. Actually, at that time, he was already gradually transforming into a terrifying undead monster. But this erosion was slow, so he still retained some self-awareness. Meow. The black cat Ali perched on Ao Wu's shoulder and began to reason with great seriousness. That's possible, but this erosion is slow. Kishimoto Masao couldn't possibly possess such overwhelming combat power to directly crush other undead monsters. Ao Wu stared blankly at the missing pages of his diary. So what you mean is, Black Cat Ali asked in return. What I mean is that in order to fight the mutated, crazed prisoners of war and those out of control, undead experimental monsters, they had already taken defective versions of the immortality drug. Ao Wu voiced his speculation, and the Black Cat Ali showed an expression of sudden realization. You're right, that's very possible. Back in February 1945, the Immortality Lab had essentially fallen, and they were forced to take refuge in their barracks and put up a last-ditch resistance. Food and water were running low, and their weapons and firepower were insufficient to fight off so many undead monsters and mutated test subjects. So they were forced to take the newly developed immortality drug, turning themselves into immortal monsters. Meow. As Ao Wu flipped through the diary at the back, he said, but this immortality drug has a flaw. It cannot maintain self-awareness for long. After a period of time, self-awareness will gradually disappear, turning them into undead monsters who only know how to kill. Therefore, they need to inject inhibitors. However, the scarcity of resources means that inhibitors cannot be produced in large quantities. So, it's possible that only Masao Kishimoto can inject inhibitors periodically to maintain self-awareness. This also explains Dr. Kato's abnormality. We need inhibitors too. If we don't take them, staying here will cause us to be corrupted by this strange energy, gradually turning us into undead monsters devoid of self-awareness. If I'm not mistaken, Dr. Kato should be in the lab right now. After listening to Ao Wu's analysis, The Black Cat Ali's expression suddenly changed. Haven't seen that woman, Shizuka Sato, in ages. Did she run off to the lab? If so, what if she beat me to the inhibitor, meow? Thinking of this, the Black Cat Ali panicked again, grabbing Ao Wu's neck with both hands and shaking it repeatedly. What's the panic? Let go, don't pinch my bronchus. Calm down, I'm here for you, cough cough cough. Ao Wu broke free from the Black Cat Ali's black hand, cleared his throat and spoke again, you're right. That woman Sato Shizuka must also have some important information. But don't worry. I still have 4 bottles of Moonlight coffee, which can remove negative status effects. Hopefully it will work. If it doesn't, I'll have to kill Sato Shizuka and steal the inhibitor. A fierce glint flashed in Ao Wu's eyes. Ao Wu flipped through the diary again, which recorded that Kishimoto Masao and the others were constantly searching for an exit. While they were conscious, they frantically dug through the soil behind the large iron gate, trying to find an exit to the surface. However, it took a very long time. The soil seemed endless. And whenever they stopped digging, the soil would return to its original state the next day. This repeated itself and many people despaired. Contemplating ending their lives, however, they suddenly discovered that after committing suicide, they would be resurrected not long afterward. Upon resurrection, their bodies underwent terrible mutations, and they would lose self-awareness in a very short time. They then tried to dig a hole in the top layer of the tomb, attempting to excavate vertically upwards to create an exit. But this also failed. There is no exit here, no way out. This is a vicious cycle of hell. The last page of the diary contained this sentence filled with despair. Ao Wu, is there really no way out here? Rule 2 is true. Are we really going to be trapped here and die, turning into those inhuman host-like monsters? Ao Wu, I don't want to become a monster. You have to think of something, meow. The Black Cat Ali looked terrified and grabbed Ao Wu's neck again, shaking him frantically. Stop shaking me, I'm thinking. Rule 8, Rule 10. It seems that performing rituals to release the dead might provide clues to getting out. In that huge bronze alchemy furnace, it might be related to releasing the dead. And this thing requires an item. What kind of item? Could it be an item we obtained from the strange tales of rules? Ao Wu glanced at the work badge he had obtained in the first level of the game of hide-and-seek with ghosts. This thing can conceal one's identity. It's kind of like a prop from a supernatural tale of rules. Ao Wu thought to himself, are we really going to perform a ritual to send these murderous demons to their deaths? If they leave with the secrets of this place, the world order might be altered, perhaps even triggering a world war, leading to widespread devastation. The tragedies of the War of Resistance against Japan might repeat themselves. Meow. A look of worry appeared on the face of the Black Cat Ali. Who said we had to perform a ritual to release these demons? Don't we have another option, those prisoners of war? As Ao Wu spoke, he peered out through the crack in the window. Ao Wu, I have a question. Where did that black vortex go? Those prisoners of war didn't take the elixir of immortality. So how did they suddenly turn into mindless, undead monsters? The Black Cat Ali couldn't understand what was going on, and these questions once again fueled its curiosity. Seeing the longing look on the Black Cat Ali's face, Ao Wu shook his head helplessly. Ali, do you still remember Rule 9? Remember. The black vortex is gononoids in each of our hearts. What a melodramatic line, meow. Black Cat Ali scoffed at these ridiculous rules. I think this is a hint. The black vortex didn't actually disappear. It merely expanded on the day the 7 stars aligned. It engulfed the entire tomb and the immortality laboratory. That's the truth behind the black vortex's disappearance. Think about it. If the black vortex truly disappeared, what was influencing these people's consciousness, causing those living people to gradually mutate, turning into immortal monsters? Ao Wu glanced through the diary and said again, this also corresponds to what Kishimoto Masao said in his diary. The prisoners of war suddenly turned into terrifying, undead monsters and began to slaughter them. The Black Cat Ali raised its paw in disapproval, saying, Kishimoto Masao and his men aren't fools. This kind of slow influence takes time. It's impossible that those Japanese soldiers wouldn't notice. You're absolutely right. The specifics of what happened at the time aren't recorded in Kishimoto Masao's diary. But I have a hypothesis. The energy of the black vortex is eroding the soil and rock walls here. When the black vortex devoured the entire immortality laboratory, resources were extremely scarce. They cut off the prisoners of war's water and food. And the prisoners sensed the crisis among them. Some capable individuals deduced the truth about the black vortex. They learned that the soil and rock walls here were being eroded by the energy of the black vortex, which was the main ingredient of the immortality elixir. With a death wish, they ate the soil and rocks here, preparing to become immortal monsters and perish together with the Japanese soldiers here. They almost succeeded. Kishimoto Masao and his group were forced to consume the defective immortality elixir in order to gain power. For revenge. You'd rather become an immortal monster and suffer eternal torment. Meow, the black cat Ali's eyes dimmed slightly. The Japanese invaders harbored a deep-seated hatred for us. Dragging them down to hell was the best option at the time. If it were me, I might have made the same choice. Our predecessors were also determined to burn their bridges. Perhaps they wanted to bury the secrets of this place forever along with the invaders. A trace of sorrow appeared on Ao Wu's face. Although I admire them, Thai may have become mindless. Undead monsters now. Will they obediently let us perform rituals to help them pass on? The black cat Ali looked at Ao Wu with a troubled expression. After thinking for a moment, Ao Wu said, "Then it's up to you. We need to lure them to the bronze alchemy furnace. If you win, we'll get a clue to our survival. If you lose, you'll be a hero again in 18 years. Black Cat Ali's expression immediately changed upon hearing this. You make it sound so easy. You've seen those immortal monsters before. Their speed far surpasses that of ordinary people. It is comparable to mine. High-level immortal monsters like Kishimoto Masao are even faster than me. Going there would be a 9 out of 10 chance of death. What can we do? We only have 4 bottles of moonlight coffee. No inhibitors, no food, no water. Even if we don't starve or die of thirst, we'll be assimilated into those immortal monsters. Which is worse than death, Ao Wu helplessly shrugged. Didn't Kishimoto Masao mention in his diary that they still had a small amount of supplies? We should be able to hold out for a while, meow. Black Cat Ali retorted. I estimate that the food and water here have been contaminated. If you want to speed up the process of being corrupted by this strange energy, you can eat. But isn't there still the immortality elixir they've successfully developed here? The diary says there's only one left if we eat it. Wouldn't we be able to live forever and gain superpowers? The black cat owl licked its lips, clearly looking rather hungry. It's best not to eat this unless absolutely necessary. Who knows if they've even successfully developed it? Besides, Kishimoto and his men hid it away a long time ago. We searched the entire command center but couldn't find it. After saying that, Ao Wu sat down on the ground to rest for a while. Ao Wu, where do you think he could be hiding? The black cat Ali was clearly still not giving up and was still thinking about the elixir of immortality. You idiot, I'm not a mind reader, how would I know? But I think the elixir of immortality isn't in his hands. It's probably with that doctor Kato guy in the lab, hidden somewhere. Hey, Sherry seems to be out. What's that woman up to? Ao Wu was sitting by the window when he inadvertently saw Shirley sneaking out. That girl's cunning, nothing good ever comes of it, Ao Wu. Do you think she got some information? Or analyzed something from the rules? And is trying to find a way to survive? Wait, something seems to have thrown something this way. Holy crap, a grenade, meow. Upon hearing this, Ao Wu's expression changed drastically. He quickly lay down on the floor, curling up with his hands covering his head. 2 loud booms echoed as countless shrapnel projectiles struck the barracks walls. Some even flying in through the windows, fortunately. Shirley was unaware that Ao Wu was in the barracks. She had simply thrown 2 grenades in that direction, attempting a diversionary tactic to lure the undead monsters to this side, so she could sneak out from the other side to search for a way out. Sure enough, the undead monsters were drawn to this area. They roamed around bearing their fangs and claws, some even peering into the barracks, fortunately. Aowu was lying prone on the ground near the wind, in a blind spot for the undead monsters, thus escaping unscathed. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Shirley secretly slipped out and stealthily made her way towards the laboratory. Meanwhile in the laboratory, the aloof and mature Shizuka Seita, who had been captured by the terrifying experimental subject, was quietly watching the young doctor in a white coat who was preparing to dissect the monster. Little girl, don't rush, you're next. It's your honor to offer your body to the great Japanese Empire. The young doctor, who looked like a madman, extended tentacles with sharp spikes from behind and pierced the body of the undead monster on the hospital bed. The half-human, half-insect monster quickly lost its ability to resist and was completely at the young doctor's mercy. He used a scalpel to cut open the monster's chest, removed its organs and placed them into bottles. Then he retracted his tentacles, and the monster's wounds healed rapidly. Finally, it was lively and energetic again. This guy is a pervert, seeing this bloody scene. Even someone as composed as Shizuka Sato couldn't help but frown. Are you from Japan? The young doctor asked in a rather magnetic voice. That's right, my name is Sato Shizuka. Although I don't know what this ghost story game is all about, or whether you're data or an NPC. My grandfather has some connection to you. Sato Shizuka adjusted her glasses and said. Strange tales of rules, an NPC in a death game. I don't understand what you're talking about. But you remind me a bit of a friend of mine. You said your grandfather and I are related. Who is your grandfather? Don't even think about lying, or I'll make you regret ever being born. Upon hearing this, the young doctor immediately became interested. He took off his blood-stained gloves, pulled over a chair, and sat down. My maternal grandfather is Junichi Watanabe. He said he and you were good friends. Your favorite person is Yashiko Wada. And your favorite food is Ikaraku ramen. Sato Shizuka spoke eloquently, while the immortal monster called Dr. Kato's expression gradually became serious. Nonsense. Mr. Junichi Watanabe is only 30 years old. How could he have a granddaughter as old as you? You dare to lie to me, Dr. Kato instantly lost control of his emotions. His face contorted in a ferocious expression behind him. The spiked tentacles hovered in front of Sato Shizuka, just a hair's breadth away from piercing her eyes. Sato Shizuka, showing no fear, spoke again. Believe it or not, I'm from over 70 years in the future. I was chosen by the strange legends to participate in this death game. I want to escape. You should have a clue to a way out, right? I want to make a deal with you. You tell me the clue and I'll help you escape from here. Sato Shizuka played her biggest card, and sure enough, her words immediately piqued the interest of Dr. Kato. He retracted the tentacles on his back, transforming back into a refined and cultured doctor. Judging by appearance alone, it was hard to imagine that he was a ruthless executioner. I don't care whose granddaughter you are. I'm interested in the deal you've proposed. Tell me, what's the way we can escape from here? If you don't satisfy me, I'll make you just like them. After speaking, Dr. Kato pointed to the horrific experimental subject that had mutated beyond recognition. I'd say yes, but it's a deal. You'll have to pay a price. Tell me everything you know about survival. Shizuka Saito, undeterred, presented her terms. If I knew any information about a way out, I wouldn't be stuck here. I only know about that bronze alchemy furnace, which might help us get out. But it requires a huge amount of energy to start. And we can't find a suitable energy source. A hint of anger flashed across Dr. Kato's face, but then disappeared. You still don't know about the path to survival. That's strange. Could the path to survival be a bronze alchemy furnace that can open the door to escape? We should probably take double precautions. Shizuka looked thoughtful. After thinking for a moment, she said, I have the energy source you mentioned, but you'll have to trade it for that perfect-grade elixir of immortality. You idiot, you're asking for death. That thing is reserved for the Emperor. How dare you covet it? I'll kill you right now, Doctor. Kato flew into a rage. He once again extended his tentacles to bind Sato Shizuka and pulled her in front of him. The Emperor, your Emperor, is long dead. The Prime Minister is in power now. Whether you change him or not is up to you, however. I must warn you, if you kill Mei, we'll never get out. Sato Shizuka wore a disdainful smile as she quietly watched Dr. Kato awaiting his reply. Why not just give it to her? Anyway, with the raw materials and technology, we can make more once we're out there, or as soon as she's out. I can kill her and take back the elixir of immortality. After hesitating for a moment, Dr. Kato slowly nodded in agreement. I can agree to your conditions. But the elixir of immortality isn't with me. On the day the lab fell, Kishimoto Masao took it. I can go to him and get it back, then give it to you, Dr. Kato. Are you trying to get something for nothing? Or do you think I'm a fool? A mocking smile appeared on Sato Shizuka's face. Dr. Kato was furious upon hearing her words. He suddenly extended his tentacles and sent Sato Shizuka flying, crashing into the laboratory wall. The powerful recoil caused a trickle of blood to flow from the corner of Sato Shizuka's mouth. Ms. Shizuka Sato, I think you haven't figured out your place. Right now, you're just a fish on my chopping block. I can make you live or die as I please. His tentacles wrapped around Sato Shizuka's neck and then tightened suddenly. Sato Shizuka immediately felt difficulty breathing. Her eyes rolled back. And just as she was about to suffocate and lose consciousness, the tentacles suddenly loosened. While I don't have the elixir of immortality, I do have inhibitors. Without them, you'll quickly be assimilated into immortal monsters like us. How about I use the inhibitors as leverage to cooperate with you? I can also promise to negotiate with Masao Kishimoto and have him hand over the elixir of immortality to you. As long as you can lead us out of here, Dr. Kato's tone was full of seduction. Ahem, deal. I can't believe it, Sato Shizuka said, still shaken. At the same time, the piercing alarm sounded again, and Dr. Kato's expression changed drastically. What's wrong? Shizuka Sato said, looking at the somewhat flustered Dr. Kato. It's those prisoners of war again. They're launching another relentless attack on us. These attacks happen several times a day. Those terrifying creatures are practically my nightmare. Now they've seized the passage to the bronze alchemy furnace. As Dr. Kato spoke, he dispatched his immortal experimental subjects to defend against their attack. Those prisoners of war don't have any inhibitors. They should have already lost their sense of self. Besides, they only ingested the raw materials for the immortality drug, so their fighting ability is definitely greatly reduced. How could they possibly defeat you? Sato Shizuka said with an incredulous look on her face. Dr. Kato wore a wry smile. I suspect one of them evolved naturally, controlling all the unconscious prisoners of war to fight against us. I don't know how much willpower it would take to accomplish such a terrifying evolution. In the spacious tomb chamber, a group of crazed undead soldiers from an island nation and a group of experimental subjects whose human forms were completely indistinguishable were engaged in a fierce battle with a group of ragged undead monsters. The tomb chamber was also severely damaged by their fighting, with ruins everywhere. Strangely, these things would restore to their original state in a short time. The most powerful among them was an undead monster 3 meters tall, completely encased in bone armor. His vital parts were covered in sharp bone spikes, and his arms were razor-sharp bone blades. He slaughtered the undead island soldiers and experimental subjects as easily as cutting vegetables. It could be said that on this battlefield was invincible, with no equal. But those undead soldiers and experimental subjects who were cleaved did not die. Their cells constantly multiplied, and their injuries quickly healed, allowing them to rise again and rejoin the battle. Therefore, although the battle was fierce, it was a battle that was destined to have no casualties. Finally, Masao Kishimoto, with giant bat wings and wielding a samurai sword, descended from the sky, blocking the powerful bone spur monster with bone swords on its arms. Hand over the elixir of immortality, the data piece. The bone spiky monster, its eyes glowing red, muttered incomprehensible words. But Masao Kishimoto seemed completely unfazed by it. Impossible, that's mine. I'll build an immortal army. I'll conquer the world. I'll restore the glory of the great Eastern Empire. Ha ha ha. The maniacal laughter of Masao Kishimoto With Chinese letter Zhengning ferocious face. Completely enraged, the undead monster covered in bone spurs. Japanese devils, hatred, damn them. Kill, kill, kill. A ferocious killing intent soared to the sky. And the monster covered in bone spurs completely suppressed the rampaging Kishimoto Masao. At this moment Dr. Ka, covered in scales and dragging a long tail behind him, joined the battle, putting Kishimoto Masao in a 2-on-1 fight. Barely stabilizing the situation, meanwhile. The Black Cat Ali and Ao, who were hiding in the shadows, were dumbfounded. This is practically a battle of gods. Compared to the terrifying and eerie ghosts and monsters, this earth-shattering battle resembling human weapons is far more shocking and visually striking. And what's with this automatically restoring tomb? Ao Wu's expression changed from shock to confusion. Ao Wu, what do we do now, meow? The Black Cat Ale nudged Ao Wu, who was staring intently at the screen. Ao Wu then snapped out of his reverie. Let's take this opportunity to go to the tomb chamber where the bronze alchemy furnace was stored and see if we can find any clues to survive. After saying this, Ao Wu took advantage of the chaotic three-way battle to quietly slip into the passage leading to the bronze alchemy furnace tomb chamber. Little did he know, a petite figure was secretly following him. After passing through the long tomb passage, we arrived at a spacious burial chamber. The walls and pillars of the tomb were carved with patterns resembling eerie eyes. Looking at them for too long caused dizziness, and Ao Wu quickly shifted his gaze to what was ahead. The tomb chamber was empty, except for a massive bronze alchemy furnace, several meters tall, standing before it. This furnace was covered in incomprehensible hieroglyphs and depictions of bizarre monsters. These strange creatures were engaged in a fierce battle with a group of armed men. This enormous alchemy furnace is supported by 3 bronze legs, on which evil dragons cling. On each side of the furnace is a huge monster head with its mouth open, roaring on top of the lid, which weighs tens of thousands of pounds. A hideous demon. The demon has a blue face and fangs, and its eyes are so lifelike that it sends chills down one's spine. Unlike a traditional alchemy furnace, the center of this enormous bronze alchemy furnace is not shaped like a yin-yang symbol, but rather resembles an eye formed by a confluence of strange patterns. The eerie eye pattern looked extremely sinister. Ao Wu only glanced at it and his whole body froze on the spot, as if he had lost consciousness. The petite figure behind them had the same experience as Ao Wu. The two of them stood there stunned and bewildered. Fire! Fire, everyone run! My body is on fire, it hurts so much, someone please help me. Brother Wen, what do we do if we can't get out? The fire has blocked the doors and windows, and there's smoke everywhere. We can't hold out much longer, cough cough cough. Ali, where's Ao Wu? When Ao Wu opened his eyes again, he was already surrounded by a sea of fire. The main gate was locked, and thick smoke and flames filled the air. Looking at the familiar surroundings, and at his teachers and friends lying on the ground, writhing in flames, Ao Wu completely broke down. I'm so sorry, I can't save anyone. Ao Wu knelt on the ground, pressed his head against the scorching floor, covered his ears with his hands, and kept repeating, I'm sorry. The piercing screams and intermittent cries for help all around him constantly assaulted Ao Wu's fragile nerves. Ao Wu, Ao Wu, Ao Wu, familiar shouts. Familiar face, endless flames. Charred corpses everywhere. Just then, a tall man engulfed in flames emerged from the sea of fire, along with a girl draped in a water-soaked blanket and clutching a black cat. The girl took off the wet blanket and covered Ao Wu with it, then placed the cat in his arms as well. I'm going to kill you all, I'm going to kill you murderers. Ao Wu kept shouting, a fierce glint in his eyes. The strange silk bracelet on his wrist hummed loudly. Wake up, Ao Wu, this isn't real, it's all an illusion, meow. Wake up, Ao Wu. A black cat grabbed Ao Wu's neck and shook him violently. Inside a dilapidated apartment, a shirtless, heavily intoxicated white man was brutally whipping a blonde woman with a belt. The woman was left bleeding and barely alive, not satisfied. He grabbed an ashtray from the table and repeatedly smashed it against her head. The woman convulsed a few times before becoming still. At this moment, little girl hiding in the closet Her face covered with tears trembled and covered her mouth. Not daring to make a sound, the man reeked of blood. His eyes bloodshot like those of a demon from hell. He held a blood-stained belt in his hand and walked step by step toward the closet where the little girl was hiding. "Share me, sweetheart, you won't leave Daddy like Mommy did. Will you? You won't, the white man, reeking of alcohol and shirtless, suddenly flung open the closet door, dragged the terrified Shirley out, and threw her roughly to the ground. "Shirley, don't you love Daddy anymore? You're just like that B******ch, a liar, a white man." Reeking of alcohol and shirtless brandished his belt, raining blows down. "Impossible, you demon, you're dead, you're dead. You're fake, you're my illusion. Sherry, my darling, how could I possibly die? Our family will always be together. I'll always be with you, you'll never be able to get rid of me." Blood blurred Shirley's vision, and a surge of overwhelming hatred welled up within her. She grabbed the falling builder, eyes filled with venom, and said, "Kill you." Shirley slowly extended her right hand towards the shirtless man who reeked of alcohol. Destructive shockwave silk, sharpness 100%. The strange silk slashed across Shirley's fair cheek, and the shockwave blasted Ao Wu away. The pain instantly jolted them out of their illusion, and they both looked around in bewilderment. When the black vortex engulfed this immortality laboratory, this enormous bronze alchemy furnace underwent a change. Anyone who sees its eerie eye-like patterns will fall into hallucinations. No wonder so many people went mad and committed suicide. Sherry pulled out a vial of potion and drank it down in one gulp, her face filled with lingering fear. If her shockwave hadn't deflected Ao Wu's ghostly silk, her head would have been severed by it by now. Rule 4: the entire immortality laboratory is filled with eerie negative energy that erodes one's mind. The eye-like pattern on this alchemy furnace is a hypnotic signal. Combined with this mind-eroding negative energy, it caused us to hallucinate and kill each other. Ao Wu took out a bottle of moonlight coffee and drank it all in one gulp, clearing away all his negative states. "Ao Wu, you're finally awake, you really scared me just now. You lost control and became so terrifying, meow." The black cat perched on his shoulder, said with a worried expression, "Ali, are you hiding something from me? I think I saw a lot of things in the illusion just now. I saw Brother Wen, and you were all on fire." A hint of fear flashed in Ao Wu's eyes as he picked up the black cat from his shoulder and examined it closely. "What nonsense are you talking about? Those are all illusions, designed to break down your defenses and destroy your spirit. They're all fake, meow." "I feel a little guilty," said the black cat Ali. "Ao Wu's mental illness has flared up again. He's been talking to himself like a madman all day. Like a ticking time bomb." Sherry muttered to herself as she walked towards Ao Wu. "Ao Wu, there's a character on the alchemy furnace that looks like a palm print. I suspect there's something fishy about it. Should we go up and take a look, meow?" Seeing that Ao Wu was still preoccupied with the hallucination he had just experienced, the black cat Ali quickly changed the subject. Ao Wu looked up, and sure enough, there was a pictograph shaped like a hand on the body of the huge bronze alchemy furnace. "Hey Archmage, we need to talk." Shirley's voice came from behind Ao Wu, but Ao Wu glanced at her warily and ignored her. "Go up and check it out. The sharpness of the strange silk is 0% launch." The eerie silk bracelet on Ao Wu's wrist shot out instantly, the silk wrapping around one of the beast's heads. As the silk retracted, Ao Wu's body rose rapidly, and upon reaching a certain height, he swayed and placed his hand on the hieroglyph that resembled a palm. Click, click, click. After a series of turning sounds, the strange eye pattern on the bronze alchemy furnace suddenly split in two, revealing a dark hole. I never expected there to be such a hidden world inside this alchemy furnace. "Ao Wu, shall we go in, meow?" The black cat Ali, perched on Ao Wu's shoulder, looked at him with a questioning expression. "Let's go in and take a look." "Ao Wu, were you acting impulsively? Could there be unknown dangers involved, meow?" "Fortune favors the bold. I can't worry about anything else now." After a moment's thought, Ao Wu leaped into the dark cave entrance. Sherry, who was underneath the alchemy furnace, was stunned by what she saw. She wanted to go up and investigate, But the furnace was made of bronze and was very smooth. Without special tools, it was difficult to climb onto the furnace. Awu slid down the oval-shaped furnace wall, and after reaching the bottom, he turned on his flashlight. The alchemy furnace was very large, filled with black medicinal dregs. He held up a flashlight and looked around inside the furnace. At each of the four corners of the furnace, a terrifying beast had emerged, its mouth agape and its neck outstretched, facing a bronze cauldron in the center of the furnace. It seems the bronze cauldron was where the elixir was refined, and the four sides were used to spew flames. As Awu spoke to himself, he walked toward the bronze cauldron in the center of the alchemy furnace. Inside the bronze cauldron were many black waste pills, and on top of those pills was a low-temperature freezing box. Would people in ancient times still make this kind of thing? Something feels off. Meow, the black cat Ali stared at the contents of the bronze cauldron with disbelief on its face. Stop talking nonsense. Asomion has hidden this thing here. A look of understanding appeared on Ao Wu's face. Someone's hiding here. Who is it? Which group of prisoners of war? Meow, it's unlikely. I think it's more probable that Masao Kishimoto is hiding here. Ao Wu picked up the cryogenic box and opened it. Wisps of cold air escaped from inside. After the cold air dissipated, a syringe containing a pale red liquid was revealed inside. What is this? Could this be the legendary elixir of immortality? Ali the black cat asked with a curious look on her face. To be precise, it should be the only successful immortality potion mentioned in Masao Kishimoto's diary. Ao Wu tossed the pale red syringe up and down. Big brother, at least show some respect. That's a perfect elixir of immortality, don't break it. But why is it here? I always thought it was on Kishimoto Masao's person. Or on that Dr. Kato guy. Why would he hide it in a place occupied by prisoners of war? Meow, Black Cat Ali asked with a puzzled look. That's where Kishimoto Masao's brilliance lay. At the time, he was still loyal to his so-called emperor. He wanted to keep the elixir of immortality for himself. But there were mindless undead monsters everywhere. His soldiers were also corrupted by these strange creatures. And some were going mad. He feared the elixir would be stolen by them. So before the place was occupied by the prisoners of war, he hid it in a bronze alchemy furnace. The prisoners of war never imagined that the elixir of immortality that could restore human form was actually right beside them. Ao Wu wore a wry smile. The most dangerous place is the safest place. Could these discarded pills be the main ingredients for the elixir of immortality? Meow, Black Cat Ali suddenly realized. Ao Wu nodded and then continued, that's right. But Kishimoto Masao never imagined that this place would become a complete tomb. They were lost in an unknown space, unable to contact their own country's army, receiving no support, and unable to break through the prisoners' blockade to retrieve the elixir of immortality. To resist the prisoners who had turned into immortal monsters, they took a defective elixir of immortality and also transformed into monsters. So they fought relentlessly every day. Ao Wu, why don't we use this elixir of immortality? Otherwise keeping it on us is like a ticking time bomb. Meow. The Black Cat Ali stared longingly at the pink injection. Immortality isn't a good thing, it's a curse. Okay, I admit it, I actually have another use for it. Ao Wu succumbed to the murderous glare in the eyes of the Black Cat. Ali, he briefly explained his plan to Ali, who nodded in agreement. But the regretful look on its face showed that it was reluctant to part with the elixir of immortality. Ali, don't you think these strange eye patterns appear way too frequently in the game? There must be some secret behind it. Ao Wu pointed to the eye carvings on the bronze cauldron and said softly. What exactly do the eye carvings represent? Does it mean that everything we see is an illusion, all fake? Meow, it's just a death game of rule-based fantasy. Obviously fake, but it's deadly to us. After saying that, Ao Wu took out the discarded pills from the bronze cauldron one by one, revealing 3 grooves at the bottom. Rule 8, consuming items can release the spirits of the dead. Rule 10, the bronze alchemy furnace is used for sacrifices. You can use it. It seems this bronze cauldron was used as a sacrificial vessel. A hint of pain appeared on the face of the black cat Ali. Ao Wu, are we really going to sacrifice all those items we painstakingly obtained from the strange tales of rules? Meow. We don't necessarily have to use our other props. Don't forget, it was revealed at the beginning of the rules of the dead game that we are actually the designers of this game. And each of our work badges can be used to sacrifice someone else in the first level. It should be equivalent to a prop. I have 7 of these left. Sacrificing 3 more shouldn't be a problem, right? After saying that, Ao Wu took out the work badges of 3 deceased staff members from his magical pocket and placed them in the groove of the bronze cauldron. After doing all this, Ao Wu jumped out of the bronze furnace with the cryogenic chamber containing the potion of immortality, and slowly slid down from it using the silken threads. Shockwave. Just as Ao Wu flicked his wrist to retract the eerie silk, he was attacked from behind by a powerful energy attack. The terrifying energy attack sent him tumbling more than 10 meters away, and the cryogenic chamber containing the immortality potion also slipped from his grasp. Vomit. Ao Wu had just struggled to his feet when he spat out a mouthful of blood. Charlie, hiding behind the pillar of the bronze alchemy furnace, slowly withdrew her right hand. She ran forward and picked up the freezer containing the potion of immortality, then extended her right hand towards Ao Wu again. Slowly uttering a few words, "Farewell, Archmage," boom. The powerful shockwave blasted Ao Wu away again. Shirley didn't care about Ao Wu's life or death anymore, because she was afraid that the commotion had attracted the attention of the 3 parties fighting outside. So she grabbed the freezer containing the immortality potion and fled quickly. When the smoke and dust cleared, Ao Wu lay on the ground. His fate unknown. Ao Wu, have you had enough lying there? Get up. To be honest, I can only give you 98. 8 points for your acting because you yourself are a 1. 2 Meow. The black cat Ali appeared on Ao Wu's shoulder and started its taunting mode. What nonsense are you spouting? My acting was textbook perfect. I deserve an Oscar. It's just a shame that treating my injuries took up 5 years of my life. I feel completely drained. Pooh. Ao Wu dusted himself off and stood up, spitting out a mouthful of bloody saliva. The elixir of immortality might be an important tool. Why not keep it for yourself instead of giving it to that ****ch Sherry? Meow, and puzzled, the black cat Ali asked. An elixir of immortality, you actually believe that? Even if they had those discarded pills corrupted by the black vortex as the main ingredient, could they possibly have researched an elixir of immortality with the technology of the 1940s? Perhaps it's just a fantasy born from their being corrupted by the energy of the black vortex, without any clinical trials to support it. The best outcome might just be turning them into conscious, bloodthirsty monsters. Ao Wu curled his lip and said with a face full of disdain. Then why did you let Sherry take this perfect-grade elixir of immortality out of the house? What was your purpose, Meow? This thing is a hot potato right now. Whoever has it will be hunted down by all 3 parties. Why don't you give it to Sherry and let her use it as bait? I don't think Kishimoto Maso and Dr. Kato are a united front. And with Sato Shizuka interfering, it might even cause a 3-way battle. We can just sit back and reap the benefits. Ao Wu crossed his arms, looking like the mastermind behind everything. As Ao Wu had predicted, just as Sherry reached the end of the passage, she witnessed a massive battle between 3 groups of undead monsters. All 3 were immortal and their battle was evenly matched, with none able to gain the upper hand, that is, until Sherry appeared with her cryogenic chamber, completely shattering the balance. Maso Kishimoto looked shocked, while the undead monster covered in bone spurs seemed puzzled. Dr. Kato, however, had a look of sudden realization. The 3 big shots' gazes were completely focused on Shirley. Shirley was sweating profusely and felt immense pressure. Damn it, I fell for that kid's trick, I became his bait. Just then Kishimoto Masayahu, who was closest, reacted the fastest. He flapped his bat wings incessantly and swooped down towards Sherry. The undead monster covered in bone spikes also noticed something was amiss. It launched countless bone spikes, desperately trying to stop Kishimoto Maso. Kishimoto Masa was knocked down from the sky. But he also managed to entangle the undead monster covered in bone spurs. Their struggle, however, gave Dr. Kato an advantage. Numerous tentacles extended from his back, binding the struggling Sherry tightly. And then he dragged her away upon seeing this. The other two gave chase, and the three-way battle reached a fever pitch. Although the undead monster covered in bone spurs was exceptionally brave and unstoppable, the monsters under his command were not so formidable, although they were also immortal. Their combat strength was far inferior to that of Kishimoto Masa and his companions who had taken the elixir of immortality. The helpless bone spur monster had no choice but to order a retreat. He now knew the white cryogenic chamber had been taken from the passage where the bronze alchemy furnace was stored. So, he led his terrifying undead monsters in a massive charge towards the bronze alchemy furnace. The bronze alchemy furnace, several meters tall, was adorned with eerie eye-shaped carvings, and a large hole had split open in the middle. A carefree young man sat on the furnace's lid, his legs crossed, looking extremely relaxed. Upon seeing this, the monster covered in bone spurs was instantly enraged, and it roared to the sky. The undead monsters behind him seemed to sense his anger and roared in fury as well. The terrifying sound waves converged, causing a slight tremor throughout the entire tomb, and countless specks of dust were shaken down from the tomb's dome. The massive bronze alchemy furnace, disturbed by these sound waves, also emitted an eerie hum. Holy crap, that's powerful. Is that sonic power? I can't take it, meow. Ali's hearing was extremely sharp, and the powerful sound waves caused him immense pain. He covered his ears with both hands and rolled around on Ao Wu's shoulder. However, Ao Wu was not faring well either. Blood seeped from his 7 orifices, and his originally gentle face became abnormally ferocious. He gritted his teeth and used the strange silk to tie himself to the evil ghost head on the lid of the alchemy furnace, and then quickly descended to the handprint that had previously activated the strange runes. Ao Wu slammed his palm down onto the pictograph that resembled a palm print. Click, 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 a series of turning sounds rang out, and the eerie eye-shaped carvings closed at an incredibly fast speed. Then, a powerful burst of energy erupted from within the massive bronze alchemy furnace. The furnace emitted a strange rumbling sound, as if it had been restarted. Ao Wu, what's going on? There seems to be a white energy brewing inside the alchemy furnace. I can feel the terrifying power of that energy, meow. The Black Katali stared in horror at the bronze alchemy furnace that had undergone a terrifying transformation. I don't know either. It's probably dismantling my 3 items. Isn't this ridiculous rule supposed to allow filling the items to release the spirits of the dead? Oh, I see. Those 3 slots are the lifeline for the 3 of us outsiders. Each of me contributed an item to open the alchemy furnace and release the spirits. Did filling 3 identical items by myself cause some negative change? Ao Wu suddenly remembered the rules he had seen earlier, and a pang of regret shot through his heart. He regretted that he had been so hasty. Upon witnessing this turn of events, the Bone Spike monster and his allies, immortals, were utterly bewildered, completely unaware of what had transpired, but sensing the terrifying energy about to erupt. Their first instinct wasn't to flee. Instead, they each formed a protective barrier in front of the Bone Spike monster, as if shielding him. 2 streams of bloody tears flowed from the Bone Spike monster's eyes as he roared to the heavens, his voice filled with resentment and bitterness. With a deafening boom, an extremely dazzling white light curtain filled the entire tomb chamber. This white light curtain seemed to possess a magical energy. Any undead monster that touched this terrifying white energy had its constantly regenerating body disintegrate and collapse into dust. Even the strongest undead Bone Spike monster couldn't withstand it for long. But on the verge of death, his face showed no fear or unease, but rather a look of relief. Meanwhile, Kishimoto Maso and Dr. Kot, who were facing off in the immortality laboratory, seemed to sense something as well. Their gazes involuntarily drifted towards the tomb chamber where the bronze alchemy furnace was located. Such a powerful energy fluctuation It's coming from the bronze alchemy furnace, could it be? Something bad, Doctor. Kato's expression changed drastically. He grabbed the terrified Sherry with his tentacles and said to her menacingly, "There's another person among you isn't there, yeah. And there's this lunatic named Ao Wo. What happened to him?" Shirley said in a trembling voice. "Was he with you in the tomb chamber containing the bronze alchemy furnace?" Kato pressed on, his face filled with urgency. "Yes, he was the one who found this elixir of immortality. I took it from him, but I think I've already killed him," Shirley said cautiously. "Nonsense, you idiot, you've fallen for his trick. He deliberately had you bring out the elixir of immortality to sow discord and distract us. Now he's probably using a prop to activate the bronze alchemy furnace. Trying to help those prisoners of war escape, Doctor." Kato angrily cursed. "That be asterisk 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 D, he's not dead, he did it on purpose." Shirley's face flushed red and then paled. This was the first time in her life she had been called an idiot. Ever since kindergarten, she had always been a standout among her peers, possessing exceptional intelligence and manipulating others with ease. She never imagined that her life of hunting geese would end with the goose pecking at her eye. "Baka kata, give me back the elixir of immortality, or I'll kill you." Masao Kishimoto's mind was becoming clouded again, and his eyes had turned red. He ignored the bronze alchemy furnace and all that else. He only remembered the elixir of immortality, which had become his obsession. Another idiot. All you know about elixirs of immortality is the elixir of life. The most urgent thing now is to get to the bronze alchemy furnace. Faced with Masao Kishimoto's obstruction, Dr. Kato angrily launched into a tirade of curses. At this moment, Saito Shizuka also sensed something was wrong, and her expression changed slightly. "Ao Wu. This guy actually managed to produce 3 items all by himself. No wonder he's a powerful figure who's survived 2 strange tales of rules. Hopefully, that bronze alchemy furnace isn't only usable once. Dr. Kato, we can't delay any longer. We need to get to the bronze alchemy furnace immediately," Saito Shizuka said anxiously to Dr. Kato. Dr. Kato also wanted to go, but Kishimoto Masao kept pestering him for the elixir of immortality. Dr. Kato didn't want to give it to him because he knew that Kishimoto Masao was no longer the same Kishimoto Mas. He had become obsessed. If the elixir of immortality fell into his hands, he would probably eat it without hesitation. Moreover, Dr. Kato also wanted to use this elixir of immortality to collaborate with Shizuka Saito, activating the bronze alchemy furnace to help them return to the real world. Just as these various factions were vying for the elixir of immortality, the white light curtain emanating from the bronze alchemy furnace gradually disappeared. As the mysterious white light emitted by the bronze alchemy furnace gradually faded, the Bizarrounded monsters also vanished. In their place appeared a group of raggedly dressed men, who looked themselves over with delight, then embraced each other and wept with joy. Ao Wu landed on the ground, looking at the scene before him with some bewilderment. "Who are you?" From the ragged crowd emerged a tall, sharp-eyed middle-aged man. This man strode confidently to Ao Wu's side and extended his right hand. "Young man, hello, my name is Lee Waiguo. Some of these people behind me are from my hometown, and the rest are brothers I met and who trust me in prison." Upon hearing his self-introduction, Ao Wu couldn't help but feel a deep sense of respect. "Senior, hello, the curse has been lifted, you are free. Back then I brought them out to make a living, but I never expected them to get caught. I promised to bring my brothers home, but I broke my promise." The tough middle-aged man was filled with remorse, tears streaming down his face. "Seniors, you can go home now. You've been trapped here for over 70 years. Enough is enough, it's time for you to be free. Leave the rest to me. I'll take care of these little bastards perfectly." Tears were glistening in Ao Wu's eyes as well. When Lee Waiguo and his fellow villagers behind him heard that it was now a peaceful era, their faces were filled with undisguised joy. That's good, we can go home now." With unwavering resolve, Lee Waiguo wiped away tears from his eyes and said to the group of ragged men, We don't need to reincarnate anymore, we can go home. Go home, go home, go home, as they cried out, go home. The ragged men gradually transformed into specks of light and disappeared into the tomb. The tall Li Waiguo dissipated more slowly. And he said to Ao Wu with a grateful expression, "Young man, thank you, we can finally be free. Oh, by the way, something suddenly appeared in my mind. My intuition tells me this is important to you. That mysterious consciousness tells me to tell you, self-redemption. The end of reincarnation, thank you, senior. I've also found my own path to survival. Obsession drives me to madness, time loops. The beginning is the end and the end is the beginning. May our predecessors rest in peace." A look of relief appeared on Ao Wu's face as he waved goodbye to Li Waiguo and the others. The pain that war inflicts on people is indelible. Even the simple wish of going home is a luxurimo. That's what the Black Cat Ali said with a sigh, yes. They gave their all and struggled through countless reincarnations just to go home. Ao Wu watched the point of light disappear into midair and slowly said, "Ao Wu, have you really found a way out, meow?" The Black Cat Ali gently patted Ao Wu's head with its paw. "I already know what the way out is, but before I leave, I think I should leave a small gift for Baka and the others. The mysterious silk with 100% sharpness." As soon as he finished speaking, the strange silk shot out rapidly, extending continuously until it finally constricted the huge bronze alchemy furnace. "Ao Wu, you're not thinking of destroying the bronze alchemy furnace, or Yao Miao?" "That's right." With a slight flick of his wrist, Ao Wu sent out the strange silk thread, which instantly returned to his bracelet. A few minutes later, Masao Kishimoto and Dr. Kato brought Sherry and Shizuka Sato to the bronze alchemy furnace. "Damn it, it's too late, those prisoners of war beat us to it." "I'm so annoyed," said Masao Kishimoto. "Mr. Masao Kishimoto, please open the bronze alchemy furnace. I might have a way to get you out of here." Sato Shizuka spoke respectfully to Kishimoto Masao. "Ao Wu and those prisoners of war who turned into immortal monsters have all disappeared. Did they really discover the secret of the bronze alchemy furnace and then escape?" Shirley stared blankly at the empty tomb chamber. Completely dumbfounded, Masao Kishimoto, his face contorted with murderous intent, glanced at Shizuka Sato, a hint of disdain in his eyes. He ignored her request and remained standing silently in place. "Dr. Kato, it's time to keep your promise. Can you give me the elixir of immortality?" Sato Shizuka extended her fair hand, looking calmly at Dr. Kato. Dr. Kato glanced at the immortality potion in his hand, then at the calm face Shizuka Sato, and a playful smile appeared on his lips. "Miss Sato Shizuka, I'm a person who keeps my promises the most. Here's the elixir of immortality. Now it's time to fulfill our promise, Dr. Kato tossed the immortality potion to Shizuka Sato, then bent slightly and gestured with his right hand in a pleased gesture. "First, I hope Mr. Masao Kishimoto can help me open this enormous alchemy furnace." Shizuka Sato then looked at Masao Kishimoto. Just as Masao Kishimoto was about to explode in anger, he was stopped by Dr. Kato. "It's unclear what Dr. Kato whispered in his ear. But the man reluctantly flew to the side of the bronze alchemy furnace and placed his palm on the hieroglyph. Kakaka, a sound of machinery turning rang out, followed by an extremely ominous feeling that lingered in everyone's hearts. The bronze alchemy furnace suddenly trembled violently, then exploded with a deafening roar. The powerful explosion caused the entire tomb chamber to shake precariously, and countless ashes rained down from the dome. Under the cover of the dust, a figure quickly rushed out. "It seems to be that guy Ao Wu. He's been hiding in the dome all along. Don't let him get away, catch him." Sherry and Sato Shizuka glared at Ao Wu with hatred in their eyes. The powerful impact, carrying fragments of alchemy furnaces of varying sizes, shot towards those closest to them. Kishimoto Masao and Dr. Kato were the first to be hit, riddled with holes by the furnace fragments. Some of the weaker undead monsters had their upper bodies ripped off. Fortunately, their cells divided incredibly quickly, and they reformed into physical form. Shizuka Sato and Sherry, hiding behind the undead monsters, barely escaped that despicable Ao Wu. He actually destroyed the bronze alchemy furnace. The clue to survival is gone. Shizuka Saito grabbed the immortality potion and ran. Sherry made the same choice. She didn't want to sit and wait to die. This was all you're doing. You all conspired to steal the elixir of immortality. We agreed to cooperate and return to the real world. But you dared to lie to me and destroy the alchemy furnace. You're asking for death, feeling insulted, Doctor. Kato instantly transformed into a lizard-like monster covered in scales, with a tail and tentacles on its back. He roared angrily and chased after Shizuka Saito. Masao Kishimoto's wings unfurled rapidly, and he pursued Sherry. Before Saito, Shizuka could get very far. Several tentacles pierced her chest. You liar, you deserve to die, Doctor. Kato's hysterical voice slowly came from behind her. We've all been tricked by Ao Wu. But this isn't my final destination. I must get out of here alive. A strong will to survive gave Saito Shizuka, who was bleeding profusely, a sliver of strength. She took out the potion of immortality from her pocket and plunged it into her own neck. Baka, stop right now. Don't touch that elixir of immortality. Upon seeing what was happening before them, both Masao Kishimoto and Dr. Kato were utterly shocked. A warm current flowed into Saito Shizuka's body, and her heart, which had almost stopped beating, began to beat again. Her injuries also healed rapidly. Do I have the right to negotiate with you now? Shizuka Saito slowly walked towards Dr. Sato. At this moment, Saito Shizuka had been injected with the immortality drug, and had completely become an immortal being. Sherry was relentlessly pursued by Kishimoto Mas, with nowhere to run or escape. A gruesome knife wound ripped open her back, blood still seeping from the gaping hole. She collapsed in the corridor leading to the large iron gate. Awaiting her fate, Ao Wu returned to the original location, the tomb where he found Masao Kishimoto's diary. Ao Wu, what exactly is the way out? Meow. The black cat Ali looked on with a puzzled expression after seeing Ao Wu's strange behavior. Ao Wu took out Kishimoto Masao's diary and placed it on the table, then pulled out a chair and sat down. Actually, this place was already swallowed up by the black vortex. This third level of the game is like a time loop. They are trapped in an unknown spacetime, endlessly repeating everything they have experienced. And all of this was already destined, they can never escape. As for the way out, it's actually hidden in Rule 2. No one can escape this alive. This implies that only the souls of the dead can escape. Just like how we perform rituals to release the spirits of those prisoners of war. These people, including ourselves, live in a time loop, which is why they can be resurrected infinitely, and why things that are damaged can be quickly restored. So, the corpse you found in this tomb when we first entered the game was actually yourself. And you also put that diary here, meow. Black Cat Ali was completely shocked. Ao Wu, whose corpse is that in the tomb passage, meow. Judging from the body proportions, it should be Sully. Ao Wu answered casually. This is terrifying to think about, meow. Knock, knock, knock. A series of heavy footsteps echoed outside the tomb, followed by two undead monsters pushing open the door and entering. The one still in human form was Shizuka Saito, while the lizardman covered in scales and sporting a large, thick tail was Dr. Kato. We meet again, Archmage. A victorious smile played on Saito Shizuka's lips. Ao Wu remained seated motionless. Without even turning his head, he simply asked calmly. You took the elixir of immortality, then congratulations. You've become part of this game and you'll never leave here. You're talking nonsense, I'll kill you. Saito Shizuka walked quickly towards Ao Wu. No need for you to do it, I can do it myself. After saying that, Ao Wu flicked the silken thread in his hand, and his head fell directly onto the table, sending chills down everyone's spine. He cut off his own head with a prop, it's unbelievable. Saito Shizuka stared at Ao Wu's headless corpse, her heart unable to find peace for a long time. She felt a strange sense of déjà vu about the scene. Could what he said be true? Is death the only way to escape from here? Upon witnessing the bloody scene following Ao Wu's suicide, the viewers in the global live stream of Rules of the Strange Tales were immediately thrown into an uproar. Netizen, a little girl, it's over, it's over. My brother is dead, I'm so heartbroken. Netizen, messenger of justice, the murderous demon is finally dead. It's so satisfying. Netizen Harry, a legendary archmage. The once brilliant one has finally fallen. This is a heavy burden on the chests of players from other countries. His era has come to an end. Not only was the livestream room filled with bizarre rules and regulations in chaos, but the atmosphere inside the secret base in Daxia also became extremely oppressive. Is that man really dead? I don't believe it. In the world of supernatural Talishes, a legendary figure. Lin Bufin slumped in his chair. Looked utterly incredulous. Impossible, impossible, he can't be dead. He's such a smart person, how could he die? He must have a backup plan, don't you think so, Lin Bufin? Don't you think so, tell me quickly. Completely flustered, Su Qi grabbed Lin Bufin by the neck and shook his head frantically. Lin Bufin was dazed as if he had lost his soul. Letting her do as she pleased, suicide, how could that be? He's not the kind of person who's emotionally fragile. Could he be hallucinating again? Why haven't they announced his death yet? Let's wait a little longer, maybe there's still a chance. Oh dear, my heart can't take it, Director Wang. Inside the Special Affairs Bureau office, had also lost his usual composure. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with one hand, while the other hand had crushed the armrest of the chair. Did Ao Wu die or complete the game? If he did, why wasn't there a notification? Was Ao Wu's deduction wrong? Is he really dead? Saito Shizuka was completely baffled. But having consumed the elixir of immortality, she had no more worries. Nosh was practically immortal. If she could escape, she would undoubtedly be a force to be reckoned with. But she always had a vague sense of unease, as if something was wrong. But she couldn't quite put her finger on it. Saito Shizuka walked to Ao Wu's corpse and took the ghost silk bracelet from his wrist. She had long coveted this piece of equipment, and now she finally had it in her hands. If Ao Wu's deduction about the path to survival is incorrect, then what is the true path to survival? Is the true path to survival the elixir of immortality? When reincarnation begins, will a passage to the outside appear? The same dark passage we came from. At that moment, Saito Shizuka was filled with questions. Just then, she heard a girl's scream come from the passageway leading to the large iron gate at the exit. It's Sherry, should we save her? Maybe we should. The two of us will have a better chance of finding a way out. Saito Shizuka hurriedly ran outside, and as she ran, she suddenly discovered that she could actually fly. I can fly now, this elixir of immortality is truly amazing. Saito Shizuka was overjoyed. She was so glad she had obtained the elixir of immortality. Meanwhile, Shirley, who was seriously injured, could no longer run. Blood was flowing from the hideous wound on her back, soaking her entire shirt, which caused her to be severely exhausted. That last stab must have damaged my internal organs, and with the blood loss I'm about to collapse. However, Grand Magister Ao Wu, I still prevail over you. I've outlived you, you're just a coward, unable to withstand the pressure and committing suicide. Ha ha ha, Shirley laughed maniacally. But there was a hint of sadness in her mania just then. Kishimoto Masao with bat wings descended from midair, holding a long sword that was still dripping blood. He lowered his head, so Sherry couldn't see the expression on his face, but she could see his bloodthirsty eyes glowing red. Masao Kishimoto walked very slowly, as if deliberately putting psychological pressure on Sherry. But at this point Sherry was powerless to resist. Is Rule 2 true? Is it really true that no one can escape from here alive? Damn these bizarre rules, why did they have to choose me? Are they trying to add even more despair to my already miserable life? Masao Kishimoto grabbed Sherry by the neck with his large hand, lifted her yupand, then plunged a knife into her stomach, frantically twisting the hilt. The excruciating pain nearly drove Shirley to the brink of collapse. Am I really going to die? But dying in this unknown underground tomb? I'm so unwilling to accept it. There's not even anyone to collect my body. No, wait. Collect the body, the corpse. This is where the mummified corpse lay when we entered the passage. Could that corpse be me? I understand now. I finally know why Ao Wu committed suicide. Is this the way to survive? A look of sudden realization dawned on Shirley's pained and contorted face. Grand Magister Ao Wu, this guy is indeed a cut above. Such ruthless courage is truly beyond my reach. If that's not a way out, then wouldn't I have died in vain? However, I don't care anymore. The best outcome is simply dying at the hands of this filthy fellow. Let's fight to the death, thinking of this. A mysterious smile appeared on Shirley's face. Kishimoto Masuya, who had already lost his mind, seemed somewhat surprised to see this. What are you laughing at? Masao Kishimoto uttered broken words, laugh at your ignorance and arrogance, hee. A hint of mockery appeared on Shirley's face, die. A hint of anger flashed across Kishimoto Masao's face. He twisted the hilt of his sword, bringing the blade upwards, intending to cleave Sherry in two. Mr. Masao Kishimoto, spare her life, don't kill her yet. Saito Shizuka's voice came from behind him. Kishimoto Masao paused upon hearing the voice. This gave Sherry just enough time to catch her breath. Put yourself in a desperate situation, and you will survive. Shirley placed her right hand, clad in a shockwave glove, over her heart before he could react. The powerful shockwave shattered Sherry's heart, and she coughed up a mouthful of blood, which splattered onto Masao Kishimoto's face. You lost, you Japanese dog. The moment she finished speaking, Shirley fell lifeless. But the mocking smile remained on her face. You idiot. How dare this crazy woman insult me? Masao Kishimoto pulled the long sword from Sherry's body and kicked her corpse against the wall. The body slid slowly down the wall after hitting it, and then sat down against it. Masao Kishimoto seemed very interested in the shockwave glove on Sherry's right hand. He took it off and threw it to Shizuka Saito, who had rushed over. Saito Shizukaho arrived from the air, caught the shockwave glove. She stared blankly at the scene before her, her heart filled with turmoil. The mummified corpse in this passage is Sherry. Then what about me? What about me? Could I be an undead mummified monster chasing me? This can't be. Their paths to survival are all wrong. My path to survival is right. Just as Saito Shizuka was trying to comfort herself, an electronic voice broadcasted in her mind. Contestant number 4 Ao Wu from Daxia has successfully passed the 3rd stage of the Immortal Lab, and will now be teleported to the 4th stage. At the same time, a melodious whistle rang out in the passageway and echoed continuously. Saito Shizuka looked in the direction of the sound, and her pupils contracted involuntarily. It was none other than Ao Wu, who had long since died. At this moment, Ao Wu leisurely walked towards Saito Shizuka, who was completely dumbfounded. Ao Wu seemed to be in a spirit state, his body radiating a soft white light. He stopped a short distance away and waved smugly at the temple's tranquility. Oh, isn't this MS, Say? Did you enjoy the elixir of immortality? Congratulations on your eternal life. I'm in a worse situation. I still have to move on to the next level. Goodbye and goodbye forever. As soon as he finished speaking, Ao Wu, who had a smug look on his face, turned into specks of light and gradually disappeared. A despicable and shameless scoundrel. Saito Shizuka was so angry that her lips trembled when she saw Ao Wu's smug face. She threw a punch and a tentacle extended from her palm, piercing Ao Wu's dream bubble. Survivor 10. Sherry from the Yu Sha's cleared level 3, the Immortal Lab. Now teleporting to the next level, the cold, mechanical voice rang out again, and Sherry's soul left her body. Her eyes held the joy of surviving a catastrophe as she turned to look at Saito Shizuka. Thank you so much, MS Saito Shizuka. If you hadn't called out, I would really be dead. Goodbye, MS Saito Shizuka, never to be seen again. Damn it, this can't be real, this can't be real. At this moment, Shizuka Saito was enraged to the point of madness. Countless barbed tentacles shot out from her body, frantically lashing out at the passageways within the Immortal Lab. The passageways were instantly littered with flying debris, leaving them in a state of utter chaos. But they quickly returned to normal afterward. It's not too late for me to commit suicide now. It's definitely not too late. Shizuka Saito put on Sherry's shockwave gauntlet, and a powerful shockwave shattered her head, but quickly. Her shattered head regenerated thanks to her powerful regenerative abilities, and she was completely unharmed. She tried several more times, but her powerful regenerative abilities made her invincible. Shizuka Sato was utterly desperate. Survivor 2. Shizuka Sato from Japan failed to complete the third stage of the death game. The Immortal Lab. Penalty for failure: immortal reincarnation. The cold, unfeeling mechanical sounds echoed continuously within the immortality laboratory, plunging Sato Shizuka's heart into an icy abyss. Not only that, but perhaps due to the depletion of power, the lights in the laboratory's corridors went out one by one. Sato Shizuka and the others were now plunged into endless darkness. More than 70 years later, Shizuka Sato, who had taken the fake elixir of immortality, had become a terrifying hairless, neither human nor ghost mummified corpse. However, she was not dead yet and her heart was still beating. But the elixir of immortality was not perfect. It could not preserve her full consciousness at this point. Shizuka was on the verge of losing herself until one day a young and beautiful woman walked out of the dark passage. Upon seeing this beautiful woman, a glimmer of light appeared in her dull, lifeless eyes. For it was herself. Shizuka suddenly burst out of the darkness. But her terrifying appearance terrified the beautiful woman. The beautiful woman opened fire on her wildly with her Type 96 machine gun. But Shizuka paid no heed at that moment. She had only one thought. Kill this woman, kill Sato Shizuka. She used the tentacles that split off from her body to bind the woman. But the endless torture had already robbed her of her basic ability to speak. But Shizuka Sato said to herself with difficulty, "You must die." But he himself severed her tentacles with his gun and escaped into the passage leading to the nightmare. Yes, a new cycle has begun. As the aloof and sophisticated Shizuka Sato failed to pass the challenge, her fans in the global live stream of Rules of the Strange immediately erupted in wails. Netizen Akamura Kajiro, that damned rule-based ghost story stole my goddess Nico. And then it stole my goddess Shizuka, my youth is over. Netizen Ellie, the Archmage scheming is truly masterful. He's a nightmare for players from all countries. Netizen Windmill, this death game is incredibly difficult. 7 levels, each more dangerous than the last. I doubt even a powerful Archmage like Ao Wu would have a hard time completing it. Netizen wow, you're talking nonsense. The Archmage is invincible. Netizen, are you alright? The person upstairs is a brainless fan, case closed. Compared to the heated debates in the global live stream of Rules of the Strain, the atmosphere inside the Special Affairs Bureau was much more cheerful. Almost as if they were about to pop champagne in celebration. See that Grand Magister Awa, that's my good brother. We've been through thick and thin together. Lin Bufin, who had just experienced a brain freeze, was revived. He told everyone he met that Ao Wu was his good brother. He don't be silly. I wouldn't be sad for that kind of punk. What just now? It was just sand in my eye. Zuki, who had been completely flustered just moments before, was now unusually calm, transforming back into a refined young lady, occasionally muttering complaints about Ao Wu's silliness. Today the entire bill is on me, young Master Wang. Everyone please enjoy your drinks, even Director Wang, who was usually quite stingy, went all out and bought a cup of milk tea for everyone present. Director Wang, I'd like to have KFC again. Could you treat me to some too? Director Wang looked aggrieved. What are you saying? What kind of talk is that? Aren't you just bullying an elderly person? Haha, young Master Wang is going bankrupt. How can we make Director Wang break down on the spot? Having already passed the third stage of the death game, the immortal lab Ao Wu was teleported to a dark forest. Moments later, the cunning young woman Sherry also appeared in the forest. Once both contestants were present, a cold, mechanical voice began to announce their arrival. Welcome to survivors to the 4th level of the death game, the handkerchief dropping game in the Forest of Fear. On a bright sunny day, 2 terrifying demons in the Forest of Fear had a sudden idea. They decided to find 2 ordinary humans to play a game of drop the handkerchief with. Unfortunately, those 2 unlucky souls were you two. The rules of the drop the handkerchief game are written on the big tree next to us. Both survivors, for your own safety, please be sure to follow the rules. The cold, indifferent mechanical voice played on a loop 3 times before finally disappearing. At the same time, Shirley and Ao Wu each produced a blood-stained rag in their hands. This is supposed to be a handkerchief. Who are you trying to fool? It's clearly just a rag, meow. The black cat Ali suddenly appeared on Ao Wu's shoulder, frantically complaining about the so-called handkerchief. Say less, Ali. Ao Wu picked up the blood-stained rag and examined it closely. In the center of the rag was embroidered a strange eye. The eye seemed alive, staring intently at Ao Wu as he observed it. On the back of the rag was a rough map drawn in blood, starting here and ending at a skull. Those eerie eyes again. It seems eyes are truly crucial in this death game. What do they represent? I can't understand it. But they're definitely related to survival. Ao Wu thought to himself, although he was eager to uncover the secrets hidden within the eyes. Now was not the time. He needed to first analyze the rules of level 4. If the rules suddenly disappeared, he would be completely at a disadvantage. Ao Wu strode to the towering tree not far away, where Shirley was already observing the rules. A large patch of bark had been peeled off this towering tree, and the rules of the game were written on it in blood. What was terrifying was that the blood was still wet and emitted a strong stench of blood. Having seen countless dead bodies, Ao Wu and Shirley quickly deduced that the blood was human and that the rules had only recently been written. Recalling the 2 blood-stained handkerchiefs they had just seen, a chill ran down their spines. There are other people in the forest of fear, and they've just been killed. Were they killed by that terrifying demon? Ao Wuqiang suppressed his doubts and began to observe the rules of the game on the big tree. The handkerchief drop game in the fear forest. Rule 1: this is a game of dropping a handkerchief with a ghost. The person who receives the handkerchief must find the other person who dropped it. Rule 2: after returning the handkerchief to the evil spirit, the next stage of the handkerchief dropping game will begin. Rule 3: please hand the handkerchief to the evil spirit within 24 hours. Otherwise, the evil spirit will take action to retrieve the handkerchief. Rule 4: do not discard the handkerchief carelessly before finding the evil spirit. Otherwise you will bear the consequences. Rule 5: the handkerchief dropping game will take place within the forest of fear. Survivors, please rest assured, it is very safe here. Rule 6: the animals in the fear forest are cute, but please do not touch them. Rule 7: don't be alarmed if you see villagers walking on tiptoe in the fear forest, as this is a local custom. Rule 8: you can believe what the hunter says, but don't eat anything he gives you. Rule 9: refuse anyone who wants to travel with you. Rule 10: the owners of the red houses in the fear forest are very hospitable. You can take refuge in their homes if you encounter danger. Rule 11: if you encounter an insurmountable danger, hide in an empty house in the fear forest. Ao Wu, this game seems really scary. We're playing a game of drop the handkerchief with evil spirits, and this fear forest looks incredibly dangerous. I have a feeling there's no way out this time, meow. The black cat perched on Ao Wu's shoulder, said with a look of despair. Ao Wu rolled his eyes at it and said irritably, "Don't you dare disrupt Morilake. Whether we survive or not, we have to fight. You only win if you fight. Good grief, good grief. You're feeding me toxic positivity again, aren't you?" Meow. Black Cat Ali looked at Ao Wu with disdain. Just as the two were bickering, Shirley took out a piece of chocolate from her pocket, ate it, and plunged into the dark, terrifying forest. Seeing Shirley eat, Ao Wu also felt a bit hungry. He took out a piece of bread from his magic pocket, wolfed it down and then drank a bottle of mineral water. Only then did he open the tattered cloth in his hand with satisfaction to examine the root on it. We've only been given 24 hours. It seems the mission location isn't too far. We need to hurry. Having said that, Ao Wu dashed into the dark and terrifying forest of fear. This forest of fear is filled with towering trees that block out the sunlight, making the environment exceptionally eerie. After walking quickly for a while, Ao Wu saw Shirley ahead. At this moment, Shirley was standing in the middle of a fork in the road, looking at the tattered map in her hand, as if she was pondering something. A dozen seconds later, she chose the left fork in the road. Ao Wu looked at the map in his hand and frowned. He had chosen the right fork. This time the evil spirit is in 2 different locations. What's going on here? Something feels off. Ao Wu suppressed his thoughts for the time being and walked into the fork in the road on the right. After walking for a while, Ao Wu sensed something was amiss ahead. Through the gaps in the trees, he saw eerie dark figures moving about, even stranger. Those figures seemed to be floating in midair. In this dim environment, the black figures swayed back and forth like a pendulum. Looking at them for too long could make one feel dizzy and disoriented. Ao Wu, what's that up ahead? Could it be a demon? It's appeared so early, it's terrifying. Meow. The black cat Ali, perched on Ao Wu's shoulder, trembled. What are you afraid of? I'm here, aren't I? Hey Ali, why do you always touch my head? It's ticklish and it's affecting my thinking. You're going too far. Upon noticing the anomaly above his head, Ao Wu flew into a rage and turned to berate the black cat Ali. The black cat Ali stared at Ao Wu with a terrified expression, stammering out, "My hands were crossed over my chest the whole time. I didn't touch your head at all, what are you talking about?" Meow. Upon hearing this, Ao Wu's anger instantly froze on his face. Stop joking, Ali. Don't joke around at a serious time like this. It's just the two of us here. Who else could it be but you touching my head, a ghost? Upon hearing this word, Ao Wu's hair stood on end. Just as he realized he had spoken out of turn, the black cat Ali's expression grew even more terrified. Pointing tremblingly at Ao Wu's head, it said, "Ao Wu, look up at your head. There's something scary above you." Meow. As soon as he finished speaking, the black cat Ali disappeared. You idiot, always so easily startled, such a coward. What could possibly be above my head? Just some trees. As Ao Wu spoke, he turned his head and looked up. What he saw almost made him wet himself in fright. Hanging upside down from the dense canopy of trees above was a rotting corpse. The corpse was highly decomposed, crawling with maggots, and its original appearance was unrecognizable. Because it was hanging upside down, the female corpse's hands drooped downwards, swaying in the wind, occasionally brushing against Ao Wu's head. The thought of a rotting corpse swinging in midair and messing up his hair sent shivers down Ao Wu's spine. Although the scene was somewhat graphic, Ao Wu's obsessive-compulsive tendency to observe still kicked in. Although the body was badly decomposed, her long, flowing hair still suggested she was likely a woman. She was about 165 cm tall, and the wear on her teeth indicated she was between 20 and 25 years old. The fatal wound was on her back, and it looked so much like a gunshot wound. A wave of doubt washed over Ao Wu. But now was not the time to dwell on it. Completing the game was the most important thing. He had just turned to leave when he heard a soft click behind him. Ao Wu immediately became alert, slightly raising his wrist to assume a fighting stance, and quickly turned around to be on guard. The female corpse showed no abnormalities, except that a delicate heart-shaped necklace had fallen from her pocket or somewhere else. Ao Wu picked up the necklace and brushed off the dust, only to discover that it was actually a gold necklace. Moreover, the button next to the heart-shaped pendant cover could be pressed to open it. After the heart-shaped pendant's lid was opened, there was a photo of a girl inside. The girl opposite was about 23 or 24 years old, with a sweet and lovely appearance, youthful and beautiful, and a sweet smile. Young lady, what do you mean by this? Are you trying to bribe me with money and your looks? Let me tell you, I'm not that kind of person. After saying this, Ao Wu put the heart-shaped pendant into his pocket. At the same time, with a flick of his wrist sharp, eerie threads severed the rope suspending her. The falling corpse was caught by Ao Wu, who didn't mind the filth, preventing her from suffering further harm. Ao Wu looked around and found a natural depression. He placed the rotting corpse into the depression, and after thinking for a moment, reluctantly took the heart-shaped necklace out of his pocket and put it back around her neck. He then covered it with pebbles and dry branches, building a simple grave. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes, little girl, don't be picky. After all, your elder brother is just too busy, so he can only give you a simple grave. Ao Wu stood in front of the makeshift grave mound, muttering incantations. The black cat Ali, which had been frightened and hidden away earlier, reappeared on Ao Wu's shoulder. No matter how beautiful you are, you'll eventually turn into a handful of dust. What a pity for such a lovely young girl. Ao Wu turned and left with a look of regret. His black cat Ali, perched on his shoulder, said sourly, "Oh, I didn't realize you were so kind. Why aren't you a simp anymore but a real Casanova now, meow? You jerk, you even joke about dead people. That's going too far. I got a lot of information from her. And besides, is a pitiful person. So I was just helping her out. Ao Wu was so angry that he blew his beard and glared. And quickly tried to explain. Holy crap, a rotting corpse, what can you possibly deduce? Black Cat Ali curled her lip, not believing it at all. There are other people or ghosts in this jungle. Judging from the girl's clothes, she seems to be a tourist. And the person who killed her had a gun and seemed very familiar with the terrain. It's possible it was a hunter or a villager. This guy treated this woman as prey, hunted her down. And hanging her here is a show of forcia display of his power. This guy is very likely a psychopath. Ao Wu said with a serious expression. You mean we not only have to watch out for ghosts, but also for one or a group of psychopaths chasing us, meow. Ao Wu traversed the dense jungle while referring to the map. There are so many small animals in this forest of fear. They can be seen almost everywhere. Ao Wu, do you like small animals, meow? Certainly. How much do I like it, meow? Ao Wu glanced at the wild rabbit darting about in front of him. Swallowed hard and said, let me put it this way, I can't skip it at almost every meal. Black Cat Ali. Although Ao Wu was tempted, he didn't make any rash moves. After all, Rule 6 said that these small animals couldn't be touched casually. And Ao Wu was afraid of causing any bad consequences. However, just as he feared, the road ahead was blocked by a pheasant with extremely bright plumage. And no matter how much Ao Wu tried to scare it, the creature remained unmoved, staring intently at Ao Wu with its wise eyes. Holy crap. I've heard of road bullies but never chicken bullies. What's with this overwhelming aura of dominance? Ao Wu stared in shock at the colorful king of chickens before him. Hey chicken, you're so beautiful. Could you please make way for me, brother chicken? I'll repay you handsomely another day. Despite Ao Wu's ingratiating smile, the pheasant remained cold and unmoved. Ah, if only I had a basketball. Ao Wu muttered softly, hesitating to act. The Black Cat Ali was growing impatient. Ao Wu, what are you doing? Ouch, mess with it. What are you afraid of? It's just a chicken, meow. Ao Wu replied with a serious expression, what do you know? I'm being cautious. The appearance of a small animal within the rules is definitely suspicious. Acting rashly could easily lead to trouble. Just as Ao Wu hesitated, the colorful pheasant suddenly charged at the two of them as if it had gone mad. It immediately used the great rock spreads its wings move. And its sharp beak swiftly pecked at Ao Wu's eyes. Holy crap. Chicken bro knows martial arts, nobody can stop him. Despite his complaints, Ao Wu reacted extremely quickly. He had just extended his right wrist to launch the strange silk, intending to shred the colorful pheasant into a pile of minced meat. Bang, a loud gunshot rang out. And the multicolored pheasant head exploded right in front of Ao Wu. Blood, feathers, and bits of flesh covered Ao Wu's face. Holy crap, who fired that? The marksmanship is pretty good. But they have no sense of sight. You should have fired sooner. Ao Wu wiped the blood and flesh fragments from his face and started ranting and raving. Young man, are you all right? This pheasant went berserk, it's very aggressive. I was afraid it would peck your eyes. So I fired in a moment of panic. How are you? You weren't hurt. A deep male voice rang out from not far away. And Ao Wu looked in the direction of the sound. He couldn't utter any more complaints. This was a burly man, 2 meters tall with a fierce look on his face. Although his smile carried a hint of kindness and concern, Ao Wu dared not act rashly towards him. Just looking at his appearance, coupled with the smoking hunting rifle, his fighting prowess was undoubtedly extraordinary. Moreover, he didn't know if he was human or ghost. If he was human, that would be fine, but if he was a ghost, then it was game over. Ao Wu, this guy is a hunter from Rule 8, meow. The Black Cat Ali whispered in Ao Wu's ear. Ao Wu did not answer but nodded almost imperceptibly. It's all right, sir, thank you for your help. Otherwise, I would have been easily defeated by this martial arts savvy chicken bro today. Ao Wu wore a fake smile and thanked him repeatedly. It's nothing, brother, you're too kind. Don't think I'm being nosy. But why are you alone in this forest of fear? Don't you know it's fraught with eeriness? Even the locals don't dare to enter easily. As the burly hunter spoke, he slung his gun over his back, stepped forward, and picked up the pheasant whose head had been blown off. Since this place is so dangerous, why are you here, brother? Ao Wu asked with a forced smile. Upon hearing this, the atmosphere instantly plummeted to freezing. The hunter paused for a moment, then said helplessly, Young man, to tell you the truth, we are forced by circumstances to come here. If we don't hunt, we won't have food to eat, and we can't earn money to support our families. That's why we risked our lives to come here. Hearing the tall, strong hunter's explanation, Ao Wu chuckled. Brother, I had no choice. I had something very important to do that required crossing this jungle. So I resorted to this. Oh, I haven't yet asked your name, brother. Big brother, my name is Kim Tae-woo. What's your name? You speak so formally. You don't sound like someone from the mountains at all. Not knowing whether the hunter on the other side was friend or foe, Ao Wu was too embarrassed to reveal his real name. So he simply made Kim Tae-woo take the blame. My name is Liu Dajwang. Well, I just studied a few more years than usual. Sorry for making a fool of myself, hee. The tall, muscular hunter said somewhat embarrassedly. Oh, by the way, brother Kim Tae-woo, I feel like we click. I'm familiar with this area. So how about I take you where you want to go? With me showing you the way and protecting you, you'll be safer. Hunter Liu Dajwang looked at Ao Wu with a simple, honest smile on his face. Rule 9, refuse anyone who wants to travel with you. Ao Wu, whatever you do, don't agree to his offer. That guy's words are full of loopholes, and he's trying to lead you to break the rules right off the bat. He's probably up to no good. Meow. The black cat Ali looked at the hunter named Liu Dajwang with a hint of fear in its eyes. Brother Liu, I can't accept that. It would take up too much of your hunting time, especially since you have a family to support. I can't be so selfish. I'll go by myself, it's not far. Ao Wu refused outright. Kim Tae-woo, we're good buddies. No, brother Liu, my mind is made up. So please don't worry about it anymore. Seeing Ao Wu's resolute attitude, the hunter named Liu Dajwang had no choice but to give up. Hey brother, since you won't let me protect you, then stay and eat something before you go, otherwise you won't be able to get out of such a big forest without the strength. Hunter Liu Dajwang picked up the pheasant whose head had been blown off and said to Ao Wu with a concerned look. Rule number 8, you can believe what the hunter says, but you can't eat his food. Is this hunter trying to tempt me to break the rule? If I refuse, will there be any negative consequences? Ao Wu's mind raced as he pondered how to decline the hunter's invitation. Brother Liu, impressed for time and have a heavy workload. I can't afford to delay. Ao Wu smiled broadly, intending to refuse. Upon hearing this, the hunter Liu Dajwang's smile stiffened. He didn't speak, but instead gripped the butt of his hunting rifle. Although time is tight and the task is heavy, I still have time to have a meal with brother Liu. Realizing things were going badly, Ao Wu suddenly changed his mind. Haha, brother Kim Tae-woo, you're in for a treat. My roast chicken is absolutely amazing. Come on, let's go to my temporary camp. After saying this, hunter Liu Dajwang, carrying the colorful pheasant in one hand and a hunting rifle in the other, swaggered past Ao Wu leading the way. Ao Wu followed cautiously, constantly looking for an opportunity to escape. Hunter Liu Dajwang's temporary camp was not far away. It only took a few minutes to walk there. His makeshift camp was backed by a towering tree, with a burning fire in front and a clear stream not far away. Moreover, according to Ao Wu's observation, there were also some small traps and warning devices set up around the camp. Brother, take a break first. I'll prepare this chicken and make you a roast chicken. Liu Dajwang plucked the pheasant's feathers, then pulled a short knife from his waist and gutted the pheasant. This scene was actually perfectly normal, but Ao Wu felt a sense of disgust for no reason. Young man, are you worried that the meat is dirty because of the blood? It's alright, wait here for me. I'll go wash it and be right back. Also, I want to tell you that I've set up some small traps around here to prevent wild animals from attacking. So please don't wander off, or you might accidentally get hurt. Although hunter Liu Dajwang had a big smile on his face, Ao Wu felt that his smile was somewhat sinister. Brother Liu, don't worry, I'll wait for you here. I won't wander off, Ao Wu said with a sincere expression. That's good, brother, you have to wait for me. After saying this, the hunter Liu Dazhuang nodded in satisfaction. He picked up the gutted pheasant and walked towards the stream not far away. Seeing the hunter Liu Dazhuang squatting by the river washing chicken with his back to him, Ao Wu silently took out his reconnaissance glasses and put them on. It would have been better if he hadn't looked. What he saw made Ao Wu's hair stand on end. Hunter Liu Dazhuang wasn't cleaning a pheasant at all, but a gutted carcass. Half of the carcass's head had been blasted off, and the brains were visible on the other half. After cleaning it, he tied the carcass to a wooden cradle to ensure the meat would heat evenly. Seeing that the busy hunters hadn't noticed him, Ao Wu quietly retreated back the path he had come from. Just then, a clear, cold female voice spoke up to stop them. Don't go there are death traps there. Follow me, I'll take you out. Upon hearing this, Ao Wu was greatly alarmed. He looked in the direction of the voice and only saw a blurry figure wearing a scarf. The figure pointed him in a direction and then disappeared into the bushes. No wonder Rule 8 says you can't eat anything the hunter gives you. Turns out this guy's a perverted cannibal. He eats human flesh, meow. The black cattle sat on Ao Wu's shoulder, a hint of lingering fear on its face. More than that, I'm worried about who that dark figure is. What does she want? Can we trust her? Ao Wu had 1,000 questions in his mind, but now was not the time to think about them. He ran quickly in the direction the voice was pointing. Although there are traps and mechanisms in this direction, there are significantly fewer than in the other directions. Ao Wu carefully dodged the giant animal trap, the pit filled with sharp spikes. He finally returned to his correct path, but just then, the hunter Liu Dazhuang discovered that Ao Wu had escaped. This kid's got some skills. He noticed something so quickly, but the smarter the prey, the more it piques my hunting interest. You'd better hide, well, little darling, I'm coming. The tall hunter Liu Dazhuang looked in the direction Ao Wu had left, a grotesque smile on his face at this moment. Ao Wu's eyes suddenly turned into eerie green vertical pupils. He ran continuously through the jungle, trying to shake off the perverted hunter. But things didn't go as planned. He could hear rustling sounds coming from the jungle behind him. And the sounds were getting closer and closer. Young man, you haven't even had your roast chicken yet, and you're already leaving. That eerie sound seemed to echo endlessly in Ao Wu's ears. That perverted hunter caught up so quickly. That's unbelievable. While forcing himself to calm down, Ao Wu kept changing his movement trajectory. Bang. A loud gunshot rang out, as if sensing something. Ao Wu, who was running at full speed, suddenly pushed off a nearby tree and dodged to the right, narrowly avoiding the shot. After landing, Ao Wu moved forward in a zigzag pattern, constantly changing his trajectory to avoid being targeted. But the relentless hunter who was chasing him wouldn't leave him alone. He pulled the trigger again. The powerful shotgun shell grazed Ao Wu's shoulder, tearing away a large chunk of flesh, causing him excruciating pain. Are you all right, Ali? Ao Wu asked anxiously. It's okay, I can still hold on, meow. It's Black Cat Ali, he said, trying to sound casual. Seeing Ali's condition, Ao Wu knew she was putting on a brave face, so he didn't hesitate to use a Grand Magus's life-related magic, sacrificing 3 years of his lifespan to repair his injuries. After all, it was his own body. Hit. But this prey is really special. The freakish hunter, leaping and bounding through the treetops, continued his relentless pursuit of Ao Wu. However, upon landing in a section of the canopy, he suddenly froze on the spot. His body then split into several pieces and fell to the ground. Damn, this kid actually set up an extremely fine wire trap. He used myself, leveraging the momentum to slice his own body into pieces. Interesting, the deranged hunter no reduced to pieces, continued his incessant chatter, and the scattered pieces, as if guided by some unseen force, began to reassemble themselves into his tall, muscular body. However, his body is now covered in scars. Like a tattered rag doll. Ali, did you take that guy down? Ao Wu asked somewhat uncertainly. No, still here. And he's approaching us at an incredible speed. Run. He might not be human. Black Cat Ali's expression changed drastically. She once again controlled Ao Wu's body. and they ran wildly through the jungle on the way. Ao Wu saw several more corpses hanging upside down, all of them dying in a gruesome manner. But just as Ao Wu was walking around these horrific corpses, he suddenly triggered a mechanism. Two rows of sharp spikes made from tree branches shot towards Ao Wu's waist from the left and right. In that split second, Ao Wu reacted quickly, slipping to the ground to dodge the two fatal attacks. "Stop struggling, kid, it's no use, you can't escape. This is your fate, you are their sacrifice to me." The eerie voices of the perverted hunter echoed from all directions. And this terrifying torment brought immense psychological pressure to Ao Wu. The murderer who killed that woman and these corpses is most likely the hunter Liu Dazhuang. He's enjoying the thrill of the hunt. He's killing these people. And the animals in this forest are more like cursed or corrupted humans. Their true forms are obscured by illusions. But they're even more aggressive. As Ao Wu spoke, he laid another web trap. But this time, the cunning and perverted hunter dodged it. Hunter Liu Dazhuang was closing in on Ao Wu step by step. But Ao Wu was helpless, forced into a corner. When Hunter Liu Dazhuang reappeared, Ao Wu took out his soul-shocking baton and delivered a quick blow to his head. This perverted hunter is definitely not human. He's a bizarre monster. He was instantly blasted into a cloud of black mist, only reforming after a dozen seconds. Just as Hunter Liu Dazhuang was unable to reassemble his body, a pale hand reached out from behind a towering tree, grabbed Ao Wu's sleeve and led him behind the tree. "Come with me quickly, it's dangerous here. That demon is unkillable." This was a handsome young man with short hair. He spoke to Ao Wu with a worried expression. After saying that, he walked into the depths of the forest without waiting for Ao Wu to take his hand or not. "Who are you?" Ao Wu broke free from his hand and asked warily. "I'm a villager here, my name is Adong. Not long ago, our village was swallowed up by the forest of fear. Since then we have never been able to leave this forest of fear. And every day we have to face the pursuit of this deranged killer. Many people in the village have been killed by him." A hint of sadness appeared on Liang's face. "Was it you who reminded us at the hunter's temporary camp just now?" Ao Wu asked, somewhat puzzled. "Hunter's temporary camp?" "Oh yes, it's me. I saw you were in danger, so I warned you. Come with me quickly, or that perverted hunter will catch up again." Liang urged Ao Wu, who was following behind, on the same route that Liang was heading in. So Ao Wu kept close behind him. It has to be said that Liang is really something. After many twists and turns, he managed to shake off the perverted hunter Liu Dazhuang. "Come with me quickly, our village is just ahead. We'll be safe once we get there." Seeing that Ao Wu had stopped, Liang urged him on. "I can't go with you anymore. If I go with you, I'll break the rules and lose my life." Ao Wu stopped and said calmly, "Brother, what are you saying? What do you mean we'll lose our lives if we go any further? Don't joke like that, how could I possibly harm you? Come with me now, or we'll all be finished if that perverted hunter catches up." Liang was sweating profusely, trying to gain Ao Wu's trust by explaining himself repeatedly. Ao Wu stood there, a cold smile on his face, completely unmoved. Just then, a large flock of birds in the nearby jungle were startled into flight. "Ao Wu, something's not right. Is that perverted hunter Liu Dazhuang chasing us again? It's urgent. How about we go hide with Liang at their village's settlement? Okay, otherwise if that perverted hunter catches us, we'll get shot." Meow, the black Katali, perched on Ao Wu's back, seemed somewhat panicked. But Ao Wu remained unperturbed, saying softly, "We didn't break the rules, and we didn't trigger a fatal situation. Even when the freakish hunter Liu Dazhuang was chasing us, his strength was within a controllable range. He couldn't possibly kill us instantly. We had enough time to escape. Besides, I think someone else might have startled the bird. After all, how could an experienced hunter like Liu Dazhuang make such a basic mistake? Don't you think so, Liang?" Ao Wu looked at the handsome Liang with a half-smile. Liang paused upon hearing this, his face showing a mixture of surprise and innocence. "Brother Jin, are you doubting me? I just saved you. If I really had ulterior motives towards you, why would I go through all that trouble? There's no way I could have saved you just now. It doesn't make any sense, Liang." What you said is quite true. But I don't recall telling you my surname or given name. Ao Wu said with a suspicious look, well a while back. You were tricked by that perverted hunter. I followed behind looking for an opportunity to rescue you. So that's when I heard, Ah Liang explained naturally. Ah Liang gets so dark and cold in the forest. Did you wear a scarf? Ao Wu rubbed his palms together. His body trembling slightly. What time is it, Brother Jin? You're still worried about scarves? Hurry up and come with me to the gathering place. There's a fire there to keep warm. You don't need any scarves. After Ah Liang finished speaking, his expression changed slightly and then, as if he had thought of something, added, it's cold today. So I did wear a scarf, but while I was hiding from the pursuers. I don't know where it fell off. Is your scarf blue or yellow? Ao Wu pressed on relentlessly, it seems to be blue. As Ah Liang answered, he observed Ao Wu's expression. He saw Ao Wu's brows furrow and then he corrected himself. Saying it's yellow, I remembered wrong. Upon hearing A Liang say that the scarf was yellow, Ao Wu's face lit up with a bright smile. Seeing Ao Wu smile, A Liang also smiled with relief. Who is it? Show yourself, don't hide. Sensing the disturbance around him, Ao Wu's expression changed, and the strange silk in his hand shot out instantly. Some unknown plants and several trees as thick as a bowl were cut off by the sharp strange silk. Young man, please have mercy, we meant no harm. Just then 3 people emerged from the bushes not far away. One of them was a sprightly old mana pretty girl with braids, and a young man with a broken arm and a pale face. The young man looked very weak. Half of his arm had been shot off, and although the wound had been hastily bandaged, blood was still dripping through the rags onto the ground. Second Uncle Xiaojai, what happened to Wen Ji's arm? Did you run into a hunter? Adong's expression changed drastically. He no longer cared about persuading Ao Wu to enter the settlement to avoid danger. He quickly stepped forward, helped the young man with the missing arm, and asked him with concern, hurry. Get back to our camp and defend it. That freakish hunter is back, he's going to wipe us out. The young man named Wenji's face was deathly pale, filled with terror and despair. The other 2 also looked grim. They kept urging Adong to hurry back to the gathering place and inform the villagers. Adong glanced at Ao Wu with some difficulty, then looked at the injured young man and the uncle. Adong, what's wrong with you? What are you standing there for? Hurry up, young man. Come with yous, otherwise if that perverted hunter catches you, he'll eat you. The old man gripped Ao Wu's sleeve, his voice trembling with fear. Brother Jin, don't hesitate any longer. Don't you trust me now? With your strength, what can a few of us do to you? Our village is just beyond this forest. There's a safe place to rest there. If you want to go somewhere else after we rest a bit, I can be your guide, I know this forest best. I guarantee we can avoid many dangers. Adong earnestly advised him. And Ao Wu's face showed a hint of wavering. Adong was right. Through the shadowy trees, he could indeed see a few human houses not far away. The girl with braids named Ajai glared at Ao Wu with annoyance, then helped the young man with the missing arm up and walked silently toward the dense forest ahead. Ignore him, let's go, this ungrateful B**********. The girl named Ajai said angrily. Young man, don't take it personally. That's just how she is, she's straightforward. The sprightly old man tugged at Ao Wu's sleeve, while Adong anxiously pushed him from behind. Ao Wu reluctantly walked forward. Just as Ao Wu was about to enter the dense forest, he suddenly shook off the old man and Adong. You guys seem to really enjoy acting, huh? One person wasn't enough, you even teamed up to fool me. One played the good cop, the other the bad cop, using the push and pull tactic. You've really mastered the 36 stratagems. If I'm not mistaken, if I go into that jungle with you, I'll be breaking rules 7 and 9. That would be tantamount to me agreeing to come with you. Besides, there must be something fishy about that forest. Right. I don't believe that in this dangerous and terrifying forest, someone would unconditionally trust a complete stranger and be so considerate of him. Upon hearing Ao Wu's words, the 4 men's faces instantly darkened. Brother Jin, what are you saying? I don't understand. Adong still had that same clueless, naive look. The pretty girl named Ajai also instantly became furious. You ungrateful wretch. You're biting the hand that feeds you. You don't appreciate kindness, second uncle, let's go. Leave him alone, let him die. After saying that, she pulled the group of people and started walking deeper into the dense forest. Little girl, stop pretending. I've seen through your trick. You were the ones who startled the birds just now. Weren't you? You were trying to create the illusion that some perverted hunter was attacking. And then you arranged for some shills, the elderly women, and the wounded, all vulnerable groups. From a psychological perspective, such people are most likely to gain others' trust. After speaking, Ao Wu looked the four people up and down with a smile. Since you don't believe me, then forget it. I hope you can survive this period of being hunted by hunters. Adong and his second uncle looked disappointed, then helped the one-armed youth walk into the dense forest. Ao Wu watched the departing figures of those people quietly, a thoughtful expression on his face. Oh no, we need to get out of here. These guys might be desperate and do something rash. Ao Wu's expression changed and he turned to run. But his path was blocked. It was the four-man group led by a dong who had just left. They completely sealed off Ao Wu's escape route from all sides. Logically speaking, in a dark and terrifying environment like the Fear Forest, being relentlessly hunted by a freakish hunter, an ordinary person's analytical and judgment abilities would definitely be affected by the threat of fear. At that moment, they would naturally feel some goodwill and trust towards any vulnerable group offering help. But yeah, with your constant suspicion and probing, are really infuriating me. Ah Dong's handsome face instantly turned ferocious and terrifying, and his voice became extremely hoarse with anger. I believe you were following me, but everything else you said is pure nonsense. It wasn't you who pointed me to this path, was it? Someone else did it. And you probably just want me to fall into their trap so you can reap the benefits. That twisted hunter and you all want to lure me into breaking the rules and setting me on a dead end. Of course, this game is difficult. Even if I don't break the rules, you can still hunt me down. But your strength will be limited. Perhaps if I break the rules, you'll be able to regain your full strength. Otherwise, you wouldn't be 100% confident in catching me. Surrounded, Ao Wu's expression turned serious. He looked up and saw many villagers faintly appearing in the jungle. His escape route, how did you figure out our weakness? Ajay, whose hair was braided, also asked the question. You'll have to ask him about that. He was the one who first revealed the flaw. After saying that, Ao Wu pointed at Adong, whose face was gloomy, and then spoke again. His mistake was being too eager to gain my trust. So much so that when I asked him if he had led me out of the trap, he lied. It was this small lie that led to his repeated exposure. You see, to cover up one lie, you have to use more lies to cover it up. First, their figures and voices aroused my suspicion. Then my probing made him flustered also. According to Rule 7, I kept trying to observe your feet. However, Adong was very cautious. He always walked through tall deep grass, and so did you. I was puzzled at the time. Why didn't you walk on the flat path and instead walked through the grass? Were you trying to perfectly conceal the fact that you were tiptoeing? After speaking, Ao Wu took out his reconnaissance glasses from his magical pocket and put them on. Ao Wu didn't want to activate the glasses' active skill, because the illusion breaker's active skill only had one use left. But the situation was critical, and he couldn't worry about that now. Ao Wu began to observe his surroundings, but the scene around him filled him with deep fear. The dense forest that Ah Dong and his companions lured him to was like a living hell. The lush trees were covered with countless rotting corpses, at least 100 of them. These rotting corpses had bulging eyes and protruding purple tongues. Their necks were draped long by ropes soaked in pus. At that moment, the villagers who had been hanged were strangely writhing. One by one, they took their heads out of the nooses and disappeared into the dense forest. Ao Wu forced himself to look at Adong and the other three again. But there were no handsome young men or beautiful young women. They were all rotting corpses with their necks snapped, tilting their heads and tiptoeing closer to Ao Wu. Forced into a corner, Ao Wu retreated step by step. Ao Wu, don't back down, there's a lasso behind you. If you back down any further, they'll hang you from the tree. Meow. The terrified voice of the black cat Ali rang in his ears. Upon hearing this, Ao Wu was startled and quickly stopped in his tracks. He dodged the rope hanging behind him, his back already soaked with cold sweat. Damn it, why are you so fond of playing tricks? The scarf wasn't blue or yellow, right? You're deliberately misleading me, Dongto, be honest. You have a kind of beauty that comes from a lack of brainstem. Enraged by being intellectually outmatched and mercilessly mocked by Ao Wu, Dong charged at Ao Wu with ruthless, unapproachable strides. We told you to come in, but you wouldn't. Do you realize you've missed a chance to join us? Dong's second uncle also harbored deep resentment. This old man Lao Deng lacked martial ethics and launched a sneak attack right from Ao Wu's blind spot. At the same time, more and more rotting hanged ghosts surrounded Ao Wu from all directions. Ao Wu, I'm going first, meow. Upon seeing this terrifying scene, the black cat Ali was so frightened that it almost peed its pants and ran away on the spot. Don't run away. You control the body and break through the one-armed youth's defenses. Despite being surrounded, Ao Wu remained calm. He had the black cat Ali control his body to break through from the weakest point. The one-armed youth, meow, a piercing meow rang out. And Ao Wu's eyes instantly transformed into eerie vertical pupils. Then his body vanished from the spot with a whoosh. When he reappeared, the rotting one-armed youth had been sliced in two by the eerie silk. But this did not kill the one-armed youth, who was an eerie being, it only slowed down its pursuit. Ali, go to the perverted hunter's temporary base. Ao Wu said anxiously, huh, what did you say? Are you scared out of your wits? That guy's even scarier, meow. Upon hearing that they were going to find that perverted hunter, Black Cat Ali was 100% unwilling. This is a hidden rule. The two sides are actually adversaries. Think about the animals in the forest, they're all villagers. They may very well have been cursed by the perverted hunter. Ghost, turning into crazed animals to satisfy his twisted hunting desires. The villagers here aren't willing to sit idly by and wait to die. They're seeking extraordinary power to fight against the perverted hunter. As for these villagers who hanged themselves, it's more like a sacrifice performed by an evil cult to gain supernatural power to fight demons. Whether we live or die depends on whether you can find that perverted hunter. Ao Wu finished his speculation in a very fast voice. That wretched Ao Wu every time. It's King Ali who has to do all the dirty and hard work. That guy just talks the talk, it's infuriating, meow. Black Cat Ali controlled Ao Wu's body as they ran, observing their surroundings. A large number of rotting corpses and hanged ghosts were hot on their heels. Among them, the fastest were a Dong and the one-armed rotting corpse youth, who seemed to harbor deep resentment towards him. Damn it. Why does King Ali have to take the blame for Ao Wu's mess? I'm not having it, you two, if you're so capable. Go find that Ao Wu guy, don't follow me, meow. The black cat Ali, who was controlling Ao Wu's body, screamed in terror when she saw the two hanging rotting corpses getting closer and closer. Ao Wu, is there any quick way to find those perverted demon hunters? I can't stand these rotting, stinking creatures anymore. Meow, Black Cat Ali said to Ao Wu, who was watching the drama unfold. Ali, let me control your body and I'll lend you my abilities too. Here you go, I'm making a quick getaway. Ao Wu's body trembled slightly before the transfer of consciousness was completed. Now Ao Wu is in control of the body, observing the surrounding environment. They were already very close to the temporary camp of the perverted hunter demon, but they still couldn't see any trace of it. The rotting hanged ghosts surrounded them from all sides, and even the usually calm Ao Wu couldn't help but turn pale. In this place where transportation relies mainly on walking and communication mainly on shouting, there's only one way to quickly find the hunter demon. Ao Wu thought to himself. He gathered his energy in his danchi and opened his mouth wide, and let out a deafening roar. Liu Dazhuang, you son of a b*******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************� into a dog's head. In that instant, countless secret telegrams with extremely high levels of explicit content burst from Ao Wu's mouth. And the family tree of the perverted hunter ghost Liu Dazhuang was instantly ascended to heaven. Faced with Ao Wu's outrageous maneuvers, The four-person group led by a dong, who were relentlessly pursuing him, were completely dumbfounded, tear his mouth apart. He's attracting the hunter's ghost. As the saying goes, experience is the best teacher. A dong's rotting corpse uncle immediately noticed something amiss and ordered a dong and the one-armed youth a wen, who were closest to him to stop Ao Wu, bang bang bang. Just then a series of loud gunshots rang out. Many of the rotting corpses chasing Ao Wu were instantly blasted into piles of minced meat. You guys should stay put in the suicide tree see. Instead you've come all this way to get your heads, well then. I'll take you and finally I can have a good, satisfying hunt. The voice of the perverted hunter demon was elusive, making it impossible to pinpoint his exact location. He's here, we were doomed, run. Stop talking nonsense, this time. Not only did Ao Wu's expression change, but the rotting hanged ghosts who were chasing him also trembled and scattered in all directions. The perverted hunter demon took the opportunity to relentlessly slaughter the remaining corpses, getting carried away with the killing spree. There were many rotting corpses and hanged ghosts, but there was only one perverted hunter demon, who disappeared somewhere in the process. Ao Wu seized this opportunity to escape successfully. Seeing Ao Wu successfully escape once again using one tiger to devour another strategy, the audience in the global live stream of Rules of the Strange erupted in cheers. At that moment, viewers from all countries spontaneously stood up to applaud him and express their heartfelt admiration. Netizen Ace of Spades, Grand Magister Ao Wu's understanding of the rules is truly unparalleled. He can always deduce a way to survive from rules that are difficult to distinguish between true and false, and from some subtle clues. Netizen Rubinho, this man is like an omniscient and omnipotent god. As if nothing can defeat him, not even death and fear. Netizen Drunk on the battlefield, this man is truly terrifying. His calm mind, superhuman courage, meticulous observation, rigorous logical reasoning, and wildly imaginative ideas allow him to always escape danger, even when he's recklessly flirting with death. Unbeknownst to Ao Wu, he had suddenly gained a huge number of die-hard fans. His sportswear bracelets and other merchandise were now sold out, making the merchants incredibly wealthy. Meanwhile, seeing Ao Wu escape danger, the Special Affairs Bureau members, who no longer had the chance to provide commentary, breathed a sigh of relief. Inside a secret laboratory, a mysterious figure wearing a black mask met with Dr. Chen, the laboratory's highest authority. The order from above is to capture or eliminate him at all costs. You're in charge of this area, you decide what to do. He's a hot potato, no, and with my meager strength, I'm afraid it will be difficult to handle. I advise you to do it, because my investigation revealed he was a survivor of that incident. You haven't cleaned up your mess. What do you think will happen if the organization finds out? The mysterious man's words were full of threats. That was just an accident, I didn't expect it to happen. But don't worry, I'll handle it properly, Dr. Chen picked up a photograph, looked at it, and then said. More than 4 hours had passed, but Ao Wu hadn't even covered a third of the distance. Shirley was in the same situation, even worse off than Ao Wu, having covered less than half the distance. She had just escaped from the hunters and was taking a short rest in a tree hollow. This is bad, we've only gone this far, and it's already fraught with danger. My life-saving weapon, shockwave gloves, and my active skill that destroys demonic forms, only have one chance left to use. Shirley thought desperately. After a short rest, Ao Wu prepared to embark on his journey once again. Suddenly, as if he had thought of something, he pulled out a Sky Eye Company employee badge from his magical pocket. They look so alike, so incredibly alike. Ao Wu looked at the photo on his work badge and muttered to himself. You're always talking nonsense, you hat. Do you mean by what? Explain yourself clearly, meow. I'm puzzled, the black cat Ali asked. Do you remember the rotting, overturned female corpse I buried? I remember, so what, meow? The necklace around her neck had a photo of her on it, and that photo looked remarkably like Cheng Yi, an employee of Tianian Games who was sucked into a death game ghost story. Ao Wu held up his work badge and said to the black cat Ali. You mean this game developer named Cheng Yi died before even passing level 4 of her own game? Meow, that's right. Ao Wu said with a helpless expression, this can't be. Something's definitely wrong. If even game developers can't escape death, then we're all doomed. Meow. The black cat Ali slumped onto Ao Wu's shoulder, her face filled with despair. Of course, it's not 100% certain death. I've already found some clues about how to survive in the game, but I still need to verify them. What we need to do now is get to the location of the evil spirit as quickly as possible and investigate more hidden rules. Ao Wu stood up, dusted himself off, and prepared to set off. This is easier said than done, leaving aside the potential dangers of finding the evil spirit. Since we embarked on this path, several waves of monsters have tried to stop us. They're like leeches clinging to us relentlessly. They always manage to pinpoint our location precisely. So I suspect there's a traitor among us. The black cat Ali stretched out two paws and kept rubbing its chin, striking a pose like Detective Conan solving a case. Holy crap, what do you mean? It's just you and me right now, the two of us. Since I'm a survivor, I'm certain I won't harm myself. Therefore the spy is you, get out of here. After saying that, Ao Wu chased the black cat Ali off his shoulder. Hey, what do you mean by that? King Ali has fought alongside you through thick and thin for so many years, conquering the south and the north. Even if he hasn't achieved anything great, he's still put in a lot of hard work. And you dare suspect me of being a spy? I think you're tired of living. Take this meow fist. The black cat Ali struck a pose on the ground, as if ready to fight to the death. What are you saying? I'm just stating your reasoning. Ao Wu spread his hands, looking completely innocent. It seems that's really true. I sat bolt upright in my deathbed, startled, only to discover that I myself was the traitor. Ao Wu's smooth talk completely overwhelmed Black Cat Ali, leaving him muttering that he was a spy. Ha. Ao Wu couldn't hold back his laughter any longer. Black Cat Ali finally realized what was happening and immediately unleashed a flurry of meow-like punches. You brat, how dare you play tricks on King Ali? Stop hitting us. Actually, half of your deduction is correct. There is indeed something here that reveals our whereabouts. Ao Wu explained while dodging the attacks from the black cat. Ali, you must give me a reasonable explanation, or I'll make your already terrible face even worse. The black cat Ari extended its right paw, its claw blade flashing out, and looked at Ao Wu with a threatening expression. What are you saying? I'm going to find my lawyer. I'm going to sue you. You can question my character, you can question my reasoning. You can even question my sexual orientation. But you absolutely cannot question the fact that I'm handsome. Ao Wu glared indignantly at the black cat Ali, constantly protesting, look at my lips, you are not handsome at all. Black Cat Ali spoke with a serious expression, enunciating each word clearly. How can your warm 37-degree lips utter such cold and heartless words? I can't believe it's true. At this moment, Ao Wu seemed to have been struck by lightning. His entire soul was emptied and he stood there dumbfounded. This completely broke Ao Wu's defenses. As Ao Wu's best friend, Black Cat Ali knows him best. This guy has incredibly thick skin and a very strong mentality. Even if you curse him 1,000 times, or put a terrifying ghost in front of him to scare him, he can still calmly analyze your weaknesses and information. This near-perfect human being has an obsessive, almost twisted obsession with being handsome. If anyone says he's not handsome, he immediately falls into deep self-doubt. Based on this alone, Black Cat Ali easily manipulates him. Without fail, Black Cat Ali stood on the ground with his arms crossed, looking at Ao Wu kneeling on the ground, lost in deep self-doubt, and a wicked smile appeared on his face. Who exactly has been leaking our whereabouts? Tell me honestly, and maybe I'll have the mercy to reevaluate your looks. It's Black Cat Ali, he said, looking down at the cat. Upon hearing this, Ao Wu grasped at a straw. His teary eyes sent chills down the spine of the black cat. Ali, certainly, actually. It's what's been leaking our whereabouts all along. After saying that, Ao Wu took out the blood-stained rag from his pocket. Oh no, it should be said to be the demon's handkerchief. So it's this thing. You mean it can guide us to find the evil spirits? And also let the evil spirits locate our position. A look of sudden realization appeared on the face of the black cat. Ali. That's right, this death game gets harder with each level. How could he let us pass so easily? There are many traps in here and any one of them could kill us. Ao Wu sighed and then said. Seeing that Ao Wu was so pragmatic, the black cat Ali pretended to size up the expectant Ao Wu. At first glance you're not handsome at all. But upon closer inspection, it's Black Cat Ali, he said, feigning contemplation. What do you think upon closer inspection? Ao Wu asked impatiently, looking at it closely. It's even worse than it appeared at first glance. It's absolutely hideous. A sinister grin spread across the face of the Black Cat Ali. Oh no, Ao Wu clenched his fists and roared to the sky. The Black Cat Ali, still not satisfied, accompanied him with Yuan Hua's signature background music, Snowflakes Are Falling. The north wind is howling. At this moment Ao Wu, who was silently shedding tears, gritted his teeth and said, Ali, you're really awful. I'll hate you for the rest of my life. Just as Ao Wu and the Black Cat Ali were playing around, a strange whistling sound came from the dark, oppressive and terrifying forest. Little babies, are you hiding well? Uncle is coming to find you. A hoarse and grotesque voice echoed from the forest. Holy crap, that perverted hunter demon is back. He's looking for us, let's go. Ao Wu's expression suddenly turned unusually serious. He beckoned to the Black Cat Ali, who understood and leaped onto his shoulder. Then Ao Wu disappeared into the dense forest. As Ao Wu looked at the map on the blood-stained rag, he moved forward quickly. Before long, the trees ahead began to thin out, revealing a narrow path. Ao Wu slowly crept forward, and before him appeared a desolate and dilapidated village. Suddenly, a strange village appeared in the dense forest where ghosts are said to roam. Anyone could see something was wrong. Ao Wu, should we take a detour? Meow. Looking at the deserted village, the Black Cat Ali began to have second thoughts. No, taking a detour would waste a lot of time. We might not be able to find the demon on time, triggering the killing intent. I can't take that risk. Besides, if we take a detour, we'll have to cross the fearful forest, which would greatly increase the chances of encountering those hanging villagers and the perverted demon hunters. Ao Wu refused decisively. Just as Ao Wu was hesitating, a melodious whistle came again from the woods behind him. Little baby, stop hiding, uncle has seen you, come out. Be a good boy or uncle will turn you into roast chicken. Damn it, thigh's perverted hunter ghost is really persistent. Ao Wu, how about we throw away the handkerchief? Meow. No. Throwing the handkerchief might immediately trigger a dead end. That's the sinister intention of this game, putting us in a dilemma. We can't worry about that now, let's go into the village. Ao Wu carefully checked his equipment, then quietly sneaked into the village. The village was eerie, it was completely silent. Eerily quiet. Not only that, many houses in the village were covered in red stripes. A very eerie red. It was hard to tell if it was blood or paint. These red stripes kept converging and intertwining, looking just like a eerie eye. Eyes, why are there eyes again? What do these ubiquitous eyes symbolize? Ao Wu was filled with doubt. As Ao Wu observed the eerie stripes on the red house, he discovered that someone lived inside. He saw a bright red eye through a narrow crack in the door. Holy crap, what kind of monster are you? State your name. Ao Wu blurted out, but no reply came from inside the red house, and the crimson eyes disappeared. Rule 10 in the Forest of Fear. The owner of the red house is very hospitable. If you encounter danger, you can hide in their home. This rule is a bit off, isn't it, red house? Your owner isn't hospitable at all. He seems rather lecherous, he's been spying on me. If I encounter danger, how could I dare go in? What if the owner is Brother Jai? Ao Wu muttered a few complaints under his breath. Ao Wu, something's not right here. The door to that house we just passed was open, and there was a grand chair inside that moved on its own. It was terrifying. The Black Cat Ali trembled, nudged Ao Wu's head and pointed him in a direction. Ao Wu looked in the direction Ali pointed and saw an old wooden house with its door wide open. Directly opposite the door was a red armchair, which was rhythmically rocking up and down. Support, 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 the soft Low decibel rocking of the armchair sounded particularly jarring in the quiet village. This bizarre scene sent a chill down the spine of even the usually composed Ao Wu. Then things took another turn for the worse. The armchair seemed to sense Ao Wu's gaze. Its swaying paused for a moment, then suddenly accelerated, the frequency of which was terrifying. This house isn't red, and there's no one inside. Could it be haunted? Is Rule 11 also incorrect? Does this mean we can't enter any of the houses in this village? You're getting married, but the groom isn't me. Just as Ao Wu was pondering, a sudden phone ring startled him. Ao Wu, what's going on? Didn't the phone lose signal in this death game? Tail meow. Black Cat Ali stared in terror at the phone in Ao Wu's pocket, fearing that a terrifying demon would jump out and swallow him whole. Pulse. Ao Wu swallowed hard, his throat tightening. He reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, glanced at it. And then a look of utter disbelief crossed his face. Ao Wu, what's wrong? What's wrong? Don't scare me, meow. Seeing Ao Wu's pale face, the Black Cat Ali panicked. This number hasn't rung in 6 years. Ao Wu looked at the number on the phone with a complicated expression. The old Dean's number, but he's dead. Could this be a call from hell? Meow. Black Cat Ali felt a chill run down her spine. Ao Wu slowly moved his finger to the answer button. Ao Wu, don't answer, something's not right. You've been affected by those things. Don't answer or something bad will happen. With a sharp shout, the Black Cat Ali completely woke Ao Wu up. Ah, what a strange influence, I almost fell for it. At this moment Ao Wu was panting heavily, his forehead covered with fine beads of sweat. There's a strange energy here affecting my mind, like some kind of mental energy pollution. Looks like it's time for a bottle of moonlight coffee, Ao Wu said with lingering fear. Jia. The sound of the wooden door opening suddenly rang out, and Ao Wu's hand, which was reaching for the moonlight coffee, abruptly stopped. It was as if this subtle sound possessed some kind of magical power, compelling one to look up. It was a red house, but the inside was pitch black, and you couldn't see anything inside. I can't look. I can't look. Ao Wu concentrated, trying to control his movements. But people kept appearing inside the house. When Ao Wu saw these people, his pupils shrank, and his body suddenly became uncontrollable, slowly walking towards the red house like a machine. Zio Wu, did you hand in a blank paper again this time? You can't be cunning. You have to be upright and have the demeanor of a gentleman. A dignified old man with graying temples, dressed in a Zhongshan suit, stood at the door and reprimanded her. Dean, it's been a long time. Ao Wu's eyes were glazed over, and he kept muttering to himself. Ao Wu, you are the smartest person I have ever met. You will definitely become a great detective like Sherlock Holmes in the future, punishing evil and upholding justice. A 16 or 17-year-old girl with a single ponytail and a lovely smile clenched her fist and made a cheering gesture. Ali, I miss you. A shy smile appeared on Ao Wu's face, and he quickened his pace. Zio Wu, if anyone bullies you, just tell Brother Wen, and Brother Wen will definitely teach them a lesson. A young man with a resolute face and a burly build patted his chest and assured Ao Wu. Brother Wen, don't go, ha, crybaby, still so ugly. A handsome young man with a cold face leaned against the door frame and made a sarcastic remark. Aling, I'm so glad you're all right. More and more familiar figures appeared in the red house. They stood at the door with extremely eerie smiles on their faces, waving to Ao Wu. Ao Wu, it's all fake, it's all fake. Wake up, they're all dead, you know that. They're all dead, burned to death. The Black Cat Ali leaned close to his ear and shouted at the top of its lungs. But it had no effect whatsoever. It kept slapping Ao Wu's big mouth with its claws. But it still didn't work. Messing his hair and telling him he's not handsome at all won't work. What you're saying isn't true. They're all fine waiting for me there. Ao Wu was as if possessed. No matter how the Black Cat Ali called out to him or tried to stop him, he still walked quickly toward the red house, with only a few steps left to the open red door. The Black Cat Ali was utterly desperate. Forget it, let it all end, I'm tired. As if resigned to its fate, the Black Cat Ali began to completely give up. Just at this critical moment, a woman wearing a red scarf appeared out of nowhere. She bumped into Ao Wu, who was about to step into the red house, and then laboriously closed the red door. As the red gate slowly closed, the figures inside instantly contorted their faces and let out extremely shrill screams, with faint glimmers of fire appearing upon hearing this. Ao Wu stood up frantically to rush inside. But he was too late. The woman with the red scarf had already slammed the red door shut. Those venomous eyes vanished and Ao Wu suddenly fainted. Losing consciousness, woman, whatever your motives, don't even think about hurting him, or I'll fight you to the death, meow. Black Cat Ali growled threateningly at the woman with the red scarf. The woman with the red scarf had bright eyes. She glanced at Black Cat Ali and at the unconscious Ao Wu, and said nothing. She simply turned and quietly left. The woman walked quickly, disappearing into the eerie village in a few steps. Seeing the woman with the red scarf leave, Black Cat Ali finally breathed a sigh of relief. Ao Wu had temporarily lost consciousness and Black Cat Ali, controlling his body, took out a bottle of moonlight coffee and drank it all in one gulp. With the consumption of moonlight coffee, his negative mental state was completely cleared away, and Ao Wu instantly regained his senses. Oh, you ungrateful wretch, you're finally awake. I've been waiting for you so long, the flowers have all withered. The Black Cat Ali controlled Ao Wu's body, hiding behind some ruins looking on warily. They were on guard around them, damn it. These weirdos can actually read my memories and turn them into hallucinations to mentally corrupt me. I was careless this time, I didn't dodge. Ao Wu looked ashamed, unrepentant. Still using memes at a time like this, meow. Using internet memes is an intangible cultural heritage. We can't let it go to waste, Ao Wu, let me tell you. If you're going to die, can you please not drag King Ali down with you? I still have so much youth left to enjoy. So many dried fish left to eat, I can't go with Yao Miao. Black Cat Ali said indignantly. I didn't want to go there either, they controlled my mind. I have absolutely no control over myself. Why does my face hurt so much? It feels like someone slapped me across the face. Ao Wu covered his face and said with an innocent expression. I can testify it was the woman with the red scarf who hit you. But that woman saved your life, she's your savior. And it's reasonable for her to hit you a dozen times, right? Feeling a little guilty, the Black Cat Ali gave way and hid. Should I believe you when you say that? Ao Wu's tone carried a hint of doubt. But who is this woman with the red scarf? She's saved me twice already. Ao Wu squatted behind the wall, lost in thought. Not belonging to any faction here. Familiar with most of the rule sand, hiding from something. Could it be her, as if he had just thought of something? A look of surprise appeared on Ao Wu's face. Hey, can you stop leaving things unsaid? The way you're doing this makes me really want to slap my size 42 foot on your size 52 face. Meow. The Black Cat Ali was deeply disgusted by Ao Wu's behavior. And it said angrily, this woman wearing the red scarf is a dead person, or rather a ghost, and I even helped her before, she's the one. Before Ao Wu could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the Black Cat Ali. You mean she's Chang Ye? The woman who hung upside down from the southeast branch. Is she really just repaying a debt of gratitude? Or could she have some ulterior motive? Of course there is. She's attracted to my strong physique and handsome face. Ao Wu struck a cool pose with a narcissistic look on his face. This is the first time I've ever seen someone so narcissistic. It's Black Cat Ali said irritably. She saved me twice, so I don't think Cheng Yi meant any harm. But she must have had some kind of purpose. As for what that purpose is, I think it's related to escaping. As Ao Wu spoke, stood up, intending to leave this eerie village. Wait, Ao Wu. I think I heard some strange noises. It sounds like whistling. That perverted hunter is back, he's already in the village. Ao Wu, what do we do? The Black Cat Ali listened intently for a while. Then its expression changed drastically. We can't wander around outside. We need to find an empty house to hide in. It should temporarily block the tracking signal on this blood-stained handkerchief. If this hidden rule isn't true, then we might get caught in this deserted village and turned into roast chicken. While using the house as cover, Ao Wu spoke to the Black Cat Ali in a barely audible voice. But the red house is haunted. And the house that isn't painted red is haunted too. This is a certain death, meow. It's Black Cat Ali, he said in despair. Hearing the pessimistic words of the Black Cat Ali, Ao Wu was somewhat unconvinced. Don't be so pessimistic. As long as we find a house that isn't painted red and has its doors locked, we can escape this pursuit. Because Rule 10 is completely wrong. Thinking about it in reverse allows us to derive some information. Rule 11 partly wrong, not wrong. This rule is misleading us. We were all frightened by that grand chair, so we made the wrong judgment. After thinking for a moment, Ao Wu spoke again. Even empty rooms can be haunted. Rooms with wide-open doors and moving furniture are haunted and should be avoided. Conversely, rooms with tightly closed doors are the only way to survive. Oh, I see. Luckily, I was too scared to go into those houses with their doors wide open. Otherwise, I might not even be alive. No meow. The Black Cat Ali looked like it had just survived a disaster, which Ao Wu found quite amusing. The melodious yet eerie whistling grew closer, and the two, disregarding everything else, found a nearby house with a tightly closed door, climbed over the wall and went inside. This house was quite peculiar. It was the only one with a courtyard wall. Ao Wu climbed overboard into the courtyard, surveying the overgrown weeds. His gaze then settled on the house directly in front of him. The main house door was tightly shut, secured with an old lock, weathered and rusted by time. Ao Wu gently twisted it, breaking it in two at the same time. A loud gunshot echoed through the silent and eerie village. Then there was another rumbling explosion. As if something had collapsed. Little babies, give up your futile resistance. You can't escape the hunter's grasp. The greasy voice of the perverted hunter demon could be heard from not far away. It's that broken wall we were hiding in just now. That freakish ghost hunter is so fast. Let's quickly get back inside and hide. Meow. The Black Cat Ali perched on Ao Wu's shoulder, said somewhat anxiously, Ali, don't rush me. Let me first observe the environment inside the room and see if there's anything unusual. Ao Wu opened the old door a crack and peeked inside. The house was divided into east and west rooms. The partition opposite the main entrance was the kitchen, where the owner cooked. To the right was a stove, some dusty, broken bowls and chopsticks, and a large rusty pot. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Ao Wu poked a hole in the paper window of the east and west rooms and observed them for a long time. Both rooms had a simple heated brick bed, one of which was piled with miscellaneous items. The other room looked like it had been lived in before, as it contained some old furniture. Can you hurry up, you idiot? The whistling of that perverted hunter is getting closer and closer. He'll find us soon. Seeing Ao Wu leisurely observing the situation inside the house, the Black Cat Ali was furious. It grabbed Ao Wu by the neck and shook him violently. Nothing's wrong, let's go in. After letting out a sigh of relief, Ao Wu spoke to Ali. The Black Cat on his shoulder, great in every way. Except you're a little too cautious. Meow. Black Cat Ali harbored deep resentment towards his dawdling behavior. Ao Wu retorted, quite unconvinced, what do you know? Better safe than sorry. The two eventually hid inside the house just as the whistle was about to reach the area. Oh dear, where did that cunning little bug go? It was just here a moment ago. Did it run ahead? Could it have been eaten by those guys in the red houses? That would be such a shame. The perverted hunter ghost looked around in confusion but found nothing unusual. After a moment's thought, he moved forward. A moment later, the perverted hunter demon turned back. That's strange, why didn't they show up? Where did they go? Did those guys really get away with it? I don't believe it. The perverted hunter removed the two spent cartridges from his gun and threw them on the ground. Then reloaded. He raised his gun and fired wildly into the walled house. The low wall did nothing to stop the tall perverted hunter. Instead, it became a perfect spot for him to hold his gun. Bang, bang, bang. The powerful shotgun shattered the wooden window, and bullets flew into the room, smashing the old furniture to pieces. Amidst the hail of bullets, Ao Wu lay trembling on the ground beneath the window. But this conveniently blocked a blind spot in the monstrous hunter Gui's field of vision. From Gui's position, he couldn't see anyone hiding under the window. Ao Wu, do you think that perverted hunter ghost will come in and riddle us with bullets? I don't want to die. Ao Wu, The black cat Ali was also lying on the ground, trembling with its hands covering its ears. Probably not. The rules of the strange tales wouldn't leave us with absolutely no way out. This time, I bet he definitely won't come in. Ao Wu said confidently. Can you please stop setting these instant death flags? Hey, did you deduce a new hidden rule, meow? A light suddenly shone in the eyes of the black cat Ali, as if it had seen a glimmer of hope for life. No, I was just guessing. Ao Wu turned to face the black cat Ali, his face bearing an extremely irritating expression. Ao Wu, why don't you just die, meow? Black cat Ali wished she could transform into a perverted hunter demon and smash that smug face of his. Through the broken window, the perverted hunter saw that Ao Wu was not inside, and a look of disappointment immediately appeared on his ferocious face. Oh no, I don't believe ya, you cunning fellow would die in the red house. I don't believe you would die at the hands of those disgusting guys. You must have escaped somewhere. A thoughtful expression appeared on the face of the perverted hunter. Demon, could it be that you did the opposite? Taking advantage of me hiding in front to run away from where you came in to the end of the village. What a clever trick, you cunning little worm. Just don't let me catch you, or I'll show you what true suffering is. The perverted hunter ghost walked quickly back the way he came with a gloomy expression. The gunfire outside suddenly stopped, and the silence was eerily quiet. But Ao Wu remained vigilant, fearing it might be a ploy by the perverted hunter to lure him out. So he hesitated to get up, it must be said. In this battle of wits between man and ghost, each of them possessed 100 schemes in their own mind. After a while, Ao Wu finally couldn't hold back any longer. He went to great lengths to persuade the black cat Ali to peek out and take a quick look. Black cat Ali, I'm F*** G obsessed. I suspect you're manipulating me, but I have no proof. It must be said that the black cat Ali initially refused, but it had no choice but to submit to Ao Wu's tyranny. The black cat Ali leaned back, raising its neck to keep its line of sight level with the window frame, as if afraid a flying bullet would instantly blow its head off. Hey, that perverted hunter ghost is really gone, meow. Alright, get up. You little greyhound, you're such a coward from now on. Learn from King Ali how to stay calm in a crisis, understand? Meow, seeing that the perverted hunter ghost had left. The black cat Ali meow King's imposing manner returned immediately, and she began to boss around Ao Wu. Holy crap. Wasn't that you, the cat that was practically peeing its pants from fear on the ground just now? Ao Wu stared in astonishment at the black cat Ali, who was standing with her hands on her hips, looking all high and mighty. Defamation. You're defaming me, I'm going to see my lawyer, meow. Ao Wu's escape from danger once again caused a huge uproar in the global live stream of Rules of the Strange. Netizen Shaolin Sweeping Monk, it was so damn thrilling and exciting. The Grand Magus was outwitting and outfighting terrifying monsters. If I were chosen to go in, I probably wouldn't last 5 minutes. Netizen Pokemon, both this human and this ghost have 800 schemes in their heads. How dare you compare yourself to them? You can only last 5 seconds at most. Netizen Barbarian King, a real 5 seconds is enough. Netizen shit, the comment above contains a lot of information. I'm an innocent person, I don't understand. Can any of you explain it to me? Netizen Brother Jai, baby, come to my house. I'll explain it to you personally. Netizen shit, Brother Jai, no. Unlike the netizens chatting and joking in the Rules of the Strange Tales live stream, everyone in the Special Affairs Bureau was worried sick for Ao Wu. Director Wangef, the time has already passed, and Ao Wu is still trapped in the deserted village. The situation is now somewhat unfavorable for him. Suki said to Director Wang with a worried expression. Now it's up to him alone. We've already used up our only chance for a comment prompt. There's nothing more we can do to help. Although Director Wang appeared calm on the surface, his fingers were actually clenched so tightly they turned white. But there are still 3 levels left in the Death Game Legend. If we can't help him, he's doomed. Lin Bufin also said with a bitter face. Use the special funds allocated to us by the Finance Bureau. Offer a hefty reward. And see if any foreign friend who received the tip in the live chat is willing to cooperate with us. We must protect him at all costs. That's what Director Wang of the Special Affairs Bureau said firmly. Yes, yes, although the monstrous hunter ghost, who clung to Ao Wu like a leech, had left, Ao Wu wasn't in a hurry to continue his journey. He had unexpectedly found an old photograph inside the house. Ghost had shot it down from somewhere when he was firing at the house. Ali, look at this photo, who do you think he looks like? Ao Wu pointed at the photo and said to Ali, the black cat who was looking around. This guy looks so much like Ah Dong's second uncle Meow, the black cat. Ali snatched the photo with its paw and examined it closely. Then an incredulous expression appeared on its face. You're right, it must be this guy. Ah Dong and his second uncle ran off to the forest of fear and hanged themselves from the southeast branch. So the house is empty now. Ao Wu stopped dwelling on the photos and began frantically searching the house. What he found shocked him. Ao Wu found a yellow diary in a dilapidated cabinet. He also discovered a shrine covered by clothes in a pile of clutter in another room. Inside the shrine was a demon with horns on its head, a long, narrow-faced fish eyes, and a mouth full of sharp teeth and fangs. Other notable features included large breasts, scantily clad clothing, and a very hot figure. Holy crap. I didn't expect this guy, besides liking to hang himself from a tree, to also be into some weird stuff. Looks like he worships some kind of evil spirit. And this evil spirit seems to be a woman. This old Deng has some really strange tastes. While observing the shrine, Ao Wu kept ranting about Adong's second uncle. If you ignore its appearance and only look at its physique, this evil god demon is pretty awesome. Why don't you unleash a massive spell that costs 100 lives while it's hot? And I'll take this opportunity to learn something new. Meow. Ugh. The black cat Ali looked Ao Wu up and down with ill intent, making Ao Wu feel uneasy and quickly cover his private parts. You're probably a pervert, aren't you? You actually like to spy on other people's privacy. No wonder I always felt like I was being watched when I unleashed the 1 billion life magic spell. Turns out it was you, kid. Aren't you afraid of getting a sty? If you keep insulting me, watch out. One day you might find your own work in the domestic selfie section. Ao Wu was furious. But the viewers in the live stream were in an uproar. Netizen Eggplant, my great archmage is indeed a man of strong emotions. Netizen Honest Man, Grand Magister, I'm an honest man. Don't lie to me. I'm waiting for you in the domestic selfie section, +1. +1 plus 10,086. Netizen suspected of being drunk, Grand Magister. Take it easy, a little m***** ion is fine. Too much is harmful. And excessive m**** ion will lead to annihilation. The live stream chat room for Strange Tales of Rules has gone completely upside down. The Special Affairs Bureau staff member was already blushing with embarrassment as he looked at these comments. You men are all the same, to prove his innocence. Lin Bufin swore to God that he had never done anything so shameless. Director Wang turned his head away awkwardly, continuing to drink his tea. Seeing that he couldn't gain the upper hand verbally, Ao Wu had no choice but to turn his attention to the yellow diary in his hand. The yellow diary was mostly filled with trivial matters. So Ao Wu had to speed up his scrolling and pick out the important information to analyze and verify. A moment later, Ao Wu solemnly closed the diary in his hand. What's wrong? You look constipated, tell King Ali. I can use my clever little brain to help you analyze the intelligence. I can't believe it. Black Cat Ali patted his chest confidently and assured him. Oh, if you hadn't said so. I would have thought that was a spittoon around your neck. Ao Wu looked at the Black Cat Ali with the kind of gaze one would give someone who is mentally challenged. The Black Cat Ali flew into a rage, shouting that it would disfigure Ao Wu and make him the ugliest man in the world. Left with no other choice, Ao Wu had to compromise for the time being. He leaned against the wall by the window and slowly sat down on the floor, placing himself in a blind spot from the outside world. Then he slowly said, "There's more than one village in this forest of fear. There's another one. And the people in both villages worship evil gods and demons." Ao Wu, what did you say? There are actually two villages in this forest of fear. And they both worship evil gods and demons. What a bunch of ignorant fools. Their miserable end shows that making deals with evil gods and demons is like asking a tiger for its skin. Meow, the black cat gazed into the distance. A hint of unease on its face. Ali, you're right, both villages should be destroyed. We're in Ah Dong's second uncle's village, while Shirley should be in another village by now. These two villages aren't actually that far apart. But they weren't on good terms. They clashed over resources in the forest and became enemies. But it hadn't escalated to the point of open hostility. Then an unexpected incident became the catalyst. What unexpected event happened, Meow? I'll ask you more questions, Black Cat Ali pressed. Ao Wu was already used to the Black Cat Ali's bad habit of interrupting him. He cleared his throat and spoke again. During a hunting expedition, a dispute broke out between the two villages, suddenly. Villagers from the other village opened fire, killing several people from Adong's village and then cruelly cannibalizing them. Adong and his friends were terrified. They had never seen anything like it. They rushed back to their village to report to their second uncle. His second uncle tried to go out and call the police, but found himself unable to escape this forest of fear. This doesn't seem simple. It's like something's orchestrating everything from the shadows. Meow, Black Cat Ali also sensed that something was wrong. You're right. People from another village were brutally hunting down the people from Adong's village. Adong and his second uncle organized the villagers to fight back. But they couldn't defeat them later. They heard that the evil god they worshipped had given them power. At that time, Adong and his second uncle were almost in despair. But things took a turn for the better one night. A seductive and hideous demon appeared to them in a dream, saying that if they worshipped her, she would grant them power to fight against an evil village. At first they didn't take it seriously. But when they woke up the next morning, some of the villagers had hanged themselves in the dense forest. Later, Ah Dong's second uncle found the evil spirit at an altar not far from the village and led all the villagers to worship her. Afterwards, this female demon and her minions clashed with the evil god of another village, resulting in both sides being severely injured. Ao Wu shook his head and sighed, and then what happened? Can you please stop leaving things half-said, Meow? Black Cat Ali urged anxiously. I really didn't leave any this time. It wasn't written in the later part of the diary. The last entry was that they were going to hold a sacrifice to enhance the power of that evil god and demon. And then that was it, Ao Wu helplessly shrugged and said. So what happened to them in the end? Did they die together? Meow. Black Cat Ali looked at Ao Wu with a puzzled expression. Ao Wu, looking at the somewhat naive and innocent Black Cat Ali, couldn't help but chuckle. Heh. You're still thinking too simply. This is full of conspiracies and tricks. It seems those evil gods and demons have read quite a bit of Sun Tzu's Art of War and the 36 Stratagems. Let me put it this way. Although I haven't seen the ending of the diary, I've roughly deduced the cause and effect of this. What? You have a different version, Meow. The Black Cat Ali was immediately intrigued. I do have a different version. Once upon a time, there were two villages in this forest. They lived there for generations. And although there were occasional frictions, they were always very restrained. Until one day, two evil spirits appeared out of nowhere. They both wanted to take over the villagers and develop their own sustainable life. However, the villagers were numerous and very united, making it difficult to act. So they used some tricks, sealing off the forest of fear. Then they used a double agent to completely turn the two villages against each other. As for the methods used, they were nothing more than possession or mind control. The two villages were locked in a cycle of mutual attrition, and the villagers were filled with fear. These two seized the opportunity, transforming themselves from evil spirits into the village's guardians. Of course, they weren't a united front. The greed of these two evil spirits was unimaginable. They both wanted to conquer each other, but neither could succeed, therefore. Weakened by mutual destruction, they could only devour each other's share, so the whole idea of gaining power through sacrifice is a scam. Meow, Black-haired Ali asked in shock. Ao Wu nodded and did not deny it. This is what's called sacrificing for power, actually. These villagers didn't die at the hands of the other party. They died at the hands of the evil god and demon they worshipped. This female evil god and demon lured most of the villagers, who were under her mind control to the forest of fear, and hanged them all there. And the villagers of the other village were presumably transformed into various animals by the hunter demon and his master, for them to hunt and kill for their amusement. So that's the truth. Greed really is humanity's original sin. Meow. The black cat gazed at the sky at a 45-degree angle, striking a profound pose. I'll pay 50 cents if you take back what you said. Let me say it. I also want to experience the thrill of riding with the ease of a whirlwind. Ao Wu said with a look of longing. Roll, K bro. Hey, now that you mention it, I suddenly remembered something. Which ghost are we looking for? Meow. The black cat came to its senses and tilted its head to look at Ao Wu. Of course it's this one. Didn't you see that hunter ghost has been trying to stop us? And of course, his henchmen have probably been sniping at Sherry the whole time. Ao Wu raised the statue of the female evil god and demon in his hand and shook it. These two ghosts aren't from the same group. Meow. That's right. Now that you mention it, I suddenly thought of something. Why are those two evil spirits who threw out the handkerchief so concerned about Sherry and me, even sending their minions to hunt us down? Just because we're survivors? No, that's not it. They're not after Sherry and me. They're after that tattered handkerchief in our hands. It's very important to both of them. Ao Wu's eyes suddenly lit up with a sharp light, as if he had grasped something crucial, and he appeared extremely excited. Ao Wu, are you possessed again? Why are you so excited? Meow. The black cat looked at Ao Wu with a terrified expression. You be *****D, can't you wish me well? I've thought of a way out of this fourth level, but I'm not entirely sure. I need to verify it. Hurry up. We have to hurry and find that handkerchief-dropping demon as soon as possible. The end of this map should be the altar mentioned in the diary. It shouldn't be too far away.